And I think now we're officially live. I just said we're live like a minute ago, but I didn't realize I didn't click the second button. Because when you do start live stream, you actually have to press two buttons, not just one. And the noises, the voice is coming in loud and clear. Welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Saturday Night Stream Music Quiz. Let's see. Until we get enough people on. Hey, Sevia. Until we get enough people on that want to play, I'll just do a random video that I kind of looked into, came up with. Share screen, window, share. Let's see what Dr. Becky has to say about this planet called K218b.
The planet K218b has been hitting the headlines again this month with the claim of a tentative detection of something known as dimethyl sulfide in its atmosphere.
Crap. I should talk about dimethyl sulfide. I do know what that is. It's something on Earth that's kind of like a precursor to having marine life. I heard it from one of my astrophysicists that I listened to. His name is Anton. Very, very smart guy. Not the most exciting guy to listen to, but he kind of knows what he's talking about.
Molecule which is only produced by life here on Earth. Now, this is all thanks to this research paper by Medusadan and collaborators. And if you want a deeper dive into all of this with more context and caveats than you're going to get in the wider media, then you are in the right place. So let me be clear.
It is pretty amazing how on a planet far, far away, sounds like the beginning of Star Wars, in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That's kind of what this is. We're able to kind of detect really interesting things. Now, of course, if the planet is like 100 million light years away, we're actually reading how the planet was 100 million years ago.
No, we have not detected alien life in this planet's atmosphere. The detection itself is tentative, and the molecule itself of dimethyl sulfide doesn't necessarily mean that life is present.
That's the thing. It's like, just because you have oxygen on a planet doesn't mean that life exists on the planet. That's the thing. But we, as far as the dimethyl sulfide goes, we do know it's kind of like a precursor for life evolving.
Whole story is quite literally the definition of extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. We don't have that yet. Now, if you're thinking, haven't I heard this all before? Well, technically, yes. The same research group.
Everyone's watching this. Everyone who is watching this is saying, "Oh, that's interesting. We have life on possible life on another planet." And meanwhile, Mach is saying, "Oh, she's hot."
Put out this paper in 2023 claiming an even more tentative detection of dimethyl sulfide. And I made a video about that then, but the data they had at the time from the James Webb Space Telescope wasn't good enough for them to make a strong claim. So now they've got different data from the James Webb Space Telescope, and they're claiming that they do now have strong evidence. But if you've been following me for a while, then you know that all of this hype around K218b comes with a lot of scientific debate, with other research papers claiming there's no evidence for dimethyl sulfide in K218b's atmosphere at all. And this past week or so, since this new research paper with this new claim to have evidence of dimethyl sulfide dropped, has been no exception, because already within the space of a week, another research paper was published by Taylor refitting this new JWST data and claiming there's no evidence for dimethyl sulfide. I was actually lucky enough to be...
I'm beginning to think maybe this topic is not that interesting to people. The topic of life on another planet probably is interesting, but all the data, as soon as I saw this data, these charts, I'm like, no one No one here is going to be really interested in that.
At a conference in Oxford this week where there was actually a panel
But
discussion.
remember, this is a music quiz, music stream, music quiz. More of a music quiz. So if anyone wants to participate in the music quiz, we just need, I like to get at least 5 on to do it. 4 for sure. 3, it's just for only 3 on that want to do it. So like the worst place is going to be the second loser. So I don't know. I'd say at least 4 to 5.
Madhu Sudan and Taylor, the 2 lead authors on these papers, discussing these results. This is science in action, and it is incredibly exciting to get to live through all of this debate as we try and figure out what's going on. So in this video, I'm going to try and distill all of that for you, and we're going to chat first about the planet K218b and what we already know about it. Then, second, what Madhu Sudan and collaborators have claimed to have found. Third, how strong their evidence now is for this detection of dimethyl sulfide. And finally, the counter arguments to this.
That's right. Charlotte Perron has it right. Well, he says any number of. I'm going to say type any number. Well, there's one number you cannot type. But type any number if you want to participate in tonight's music quiz.
Detection. Now, I know discussing the possibility of whether there's life out there in the universe can be, just a bit scary for some, because let's face it, there's an existential crisis waiting to happen that we can't protect ourselves from. But you know what's even scarier than that? The internet. And thankfully, you can protect yourself while you're online, thanks to Surfshark.
No! Commercial. I hate commercials inside videos. I paid for fucking YouTube Premium so I wouldn't get commercials. And they found a way around it, where they just and premium is not cheap. It was like $150 for a year, and it renews. I think it renews in the next 3 months.
To surfshark.com/Dr. Becky, or you can click on that link in the description below, or you can use code Dr. Becky.
But yeah, for me, it's worth it because if you don't have premium and you're watching videos, you just get ads all the time. In a video, you'll get like between 2 and 5 ads. And it's so annoying. I broke down and bought it.
Check out and you'll get 4 additional months free on your subscription.
I wish they sold YouTube Premium on Temu, because I've been going nuts buying stuff on Temu. Over the past month, I just ordered more stuff yesterday. I think yesterday was the deadline to buy stuff, because at least they're saying on the news today that the tariffs, the car tariffs have just hit today. So any imports into the country now cost you 25% more for a car.
It's a great deal for you all. So a big thanks to Surfshark again for sponsoring this video. And now let's dive in and chat first about the planet K218b and what we already know about it to kick us off. So K218b is what's known as an exoplanet, a planet orbiting another star in our galaxy of stars, the Milky Way. It's about 124 light years away from Earth.
Oh, only 124 light years. Which is kind of a problem in itself. Being 124 light years, it's a problem because even if there is life there, there's like starting life, algae and bacteria. 124 light years, it's going to be 1 million years before the planet even develops and evolves into intelligent life. It's going to take at least 100 million years. So something that close, it's actually a disadvantage to detect early signs of life.
Of Leo, and it was discovered in 2015 by NASA's Kepler Space Telescope during its K2 mission, hence the name. Now, it orbits a red dwarf star, which is much smaller and cooler than our sun. K218b actually only takes 33 days to make one orbit of its star. So it orbits much closer to its star than Earth does around the sun, but because its star is much cooler than the sun, it's still in what's known as the habitable zone around its star.
The habitable zone, that's also called the, if for nerdy people like me, it's called the Goldilocks zone.
of light, so heat and energy from a star, so any planet there wouldn't be, too hot or too cold for life to potentially.
Now, one of the nice things about the like the red stars, they actually last a long time. The stars that burn out really quickly are the really, really bright blue ones, but the red ones could last billions of years. And the ones in the middle, which is like our sun, they're kind of what is it, maybe 4 billion, only 4 billion years before they run out of fuel.
Exists there, at least life as we know it here.
Damn it, Ron! Ron, you picked the one number that you're not allowed to type there.
Now, it was back in 2019 that K2-18b hit the headlines for the first time when Beneke and collaborators using the Hubble Space Telescope claimed to have found evidence for water vapor in its atmosphere, which was a huge deal at the time. Yeah, we found water vapor in the atmospheres of exoplanets before that, but we never found it in the atmosphere of an exoplanet in its habitable zone around its star. So that right there already had people speculating about the possibility of life on K2-18b. That's despite the fact that Coulter and collaborators had already worked out the mass of 6 times that of Earth. Putting it aside, roughly about halfway between Coulter and collaborators had already worked out the mass of K2-18b.
I see this. The square root, what is that? Look at all these statistics. H sub b equals the square root of E sub b cosine. I guess that's the Greek letter. Is that omega? No, it might be omega. It's funny how we're able to measure like all these things very accurately.
Is 8.63 times heavier than Earth, but with a diameter of just 2.6 times that of Earth.
That's pretty. Actually, that's pretty amazing. They're able to calculate. What's not amazing is the radius. Like you could kind of guess if you know how far a star is away, you could actually calculate the radius pretty easily. Calculating the mass, that's impressive. That's more impressive. But you could actually calculate the mass of a planet if you know the mass of the sun, because in order for a planet to have a stable orbit around a sun, and you know the mass of the sun, you could actually calculate the mass of the planet. Because if the mass of the planet is too low, you will not be able to stay in that orbit. You will kind of leave the orbit going more outwards. I think it works that way.
8.63 times heavier than Earth, but with a diameter of just 2.6 times that of Earth, putting it aside roughly about halfway between Earth and Neptune. So that had people asking, well, what is K2-18b actually like then?
No, I don't think Ron leaves for another day or so, or another day to, I don't know, 3 days. But he is going soon.
Is it more of a super Earth, with a rocky surface and maybe even like a liquid water ocean? Or is it more of a mini Neptune, like the gas giants, with no surface at all and just gas all the way down? In fact, there are a lot of planets that have been found through the 2010s in this region between Earth and Neptune.
Whoa, that's an interesting chart here. So this plots the, let's see, the diameter of Earth versus the this is just diameter versus mass. Okay.
Like K2-18b, and we don't have anything like that in the solar system to help inform us. Okay, what do we expect to find? So the focus was very much on understanding. Okay, what are these planets actually like? So at the end of the 2010s, with the James Webb Space Telescope launched still a few years off, Hugh and collaborators.
I really wish Elon Musk would stick to SpaceX and Neuralink and F all these things that are making him very, very unpopular. I'm not going to go into politics.
detectors started to make predictions for what you might expect to find with JWST. If it was a super Earth with a liquid ocean, then carbon dioxide and nitrogen should dominate in the atmosphere. But if it was a mini Neptune, like a mini gas giant, then ammonia and methane would dominate. And so this is what motivated two separate groups to apply to use JWST.
Yeah, look at two separate groups. It's the Indian group against the Chinese group. Where are the Americans? No, they're nowhere. Where are the Europeans? I don't see them.
K218b to figure out which one it was. So how do you actually do this with JWST? Well, first you have to wait for the planet to pass in front of its star from our perspective here on Earth, so that a tiny bit of starlight passes through the planet's atmosphere. You can then take that light and split it into what's known as a spectrum, where you get a trace of how much light each color or wavelength you have. And then you take the spectrum of just the starlight alone, take one from the other, and you're left with just the effect of the planet's atmosphere.
So damn. They're actually, she's explaining how they, this is actually pretty interesting, how they are able to determine the light from the planet. You have the light from the star, which disperses, well, not only does it disperse, these are the visible colors. It also disperses infrared, which you can't see here, and ultraviolet, which you can't see. And then when the light passes through the star, it gives a different image. And we have ways of subtracting that kind of stuff. Hey, Internet Monster. I'm not going to watch Kentucky Derby. I actually was trying to bet on it earlier. I set up all these bets. There was a few horses I liked. What were the horses? It was basically like basically the three favorites. It looks like the track conditions were going to be wet. Let me see if I'm going to see if it's still there on my betting website. But the amount that I bet was too low. I made 9 bets, but each bet individually was too low, so it did not put them through. Kentucky Derby. No. I did place a bet on the Philadelphia Phillies tonight to win. They're going against the Diamondbacks, a decent team, and the Phillies pitcher is 0-5. The Diamondbacks pitcher is like 5-1, but they made the Phillies a favorite. That tells me when you have like a team that the pitcher is 0-5 and the other team is 5-1, but the team is 0-5 as a favorite, that tells me you take the 0-5 pitcher every time. 60 to 70% of the time you're going to win that. Where was I? Oh, yes. So yeah, so they could take the two waveforms, and wavelength. The wavelength is like each individual color would be like a different wavelength, and including the ones you can't see, not in the visible spectrum. And then you could take the ones where the light passes through the star, and then you could subtract them out.
Of just the starlight alone, take one from the other, and you're left with just the effect of the planet's atmosphere. So if there are certain molecules in the atmosphere of the planet, they'll absorb specific wavelengths that are signatures of those molecules. And you can identify them as gaps or dips in the amount of light detected to know that they're there. And sometimes when people plot this, instead of plotting like amount of light detected, they actually plot like amount of light absorbed. So the axis essentially gets flipped. And so instead of a dip to show you where the individual molecules are, instead you get a bump in the spectrum instead. Now, I made that sound relatively simple, but in reality, it's an incredibly difficult thing to do, mainly because the amount of light that actually passes through the planet's atmosphere is absolutely minuscule. So only the strongest features tend to show up above the noise. So what people often do is observe multiple transits of the planet in front of its star, and then you can add the light from all of those different transits together to get a stronger signal. But the big problem with that is that you have to assume that the light from your star is relatively constant and won't change from transit to transit, whether that's every 33 days like for K218b, or year on year if it's a planet like Earth, which, as we know from observing our own sun, is just not the case. From sunspots to flares, just general convection, stars are naturally variable, with sunspots actually able to change.
That's an interesting point. I never knew that our sun is so variable that depending on the time of year, you could get different readings from that one waveform that has to be used as a basis to subtract the other.
The amount of light given off at specific wavelengths.
Oh, hey, yes, what's Chris? Did I place it? No, this is the last night. I'm here alone. Before the family comes back in from West Virginia. They went to a baby shower today. Well, they actually went yesterday. I tell you, these last 2 days have been so great. It's like I could wake up, I could walk around the house in my underwear if I want. I took the dog for a walk at like 11 this morning, and we just sat out on the track. I put a towel down, a thick towel. He just sits on it. We just watch people walk by. Not in a creepy way, but yeah, it was fun.
Well, so astronomers tend to approach doing this with a lot of caution and with a lot of caveats in mind as they present their work. So with all of that said, that brings us to 2023, when Medusa and collaborators published the first look at K218b with JWST, but using the NIRSpec and NIRISS instruments that cover the lower wavelengths of infrared light. I already covered this specific research.
Oh, okay. She's saying it covers infrared light, which is what I was saying about this. You take the waveforms and you take the colors, and you can kind of subtract them out. But now she's saying that they mainly used infrared.
In a video on my channel when it first came out, which I'll link that below if you're interested in a big deeper dive onto that paper, because obviously we're going into way more detail there. But to summarize, by fitting to that JWST data, it's
interesting. Like they could kind of tell the composition, like CO2 is carbon dioxide. They should be able. CH4. What is CH4? We learned about that in chemistry, but that was like 11th. That was 11th grade. It was a long time ago. So that's micrometers. Yeah, you're not kidding, Chris. Like just walking around the house freely. I'll tell you what else. What else I do? I've been eating Chef Boyardee. I can show you what Chef Boyardee looks like here. We got these cans probably. Oh, it has to be over 6 months ago. And I'm gonna turn the camera on for a second. I have this ready to go tomorrow morning when I wake up, probably like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning. I'm all set for my next meal.
Sedan and collaborators find that their best fit model gave a mix of molecules of hydrogen and methane, which supported the idea that K218b.
Oh, so cute. She says methane. Methane. We call it something different here.
Is what's known as a Haitian world, a portmanteau of hydrogen and ocean, blending this idea of a super Earth and a mini Neptune. So it's a liquid water ocean surface surrounded by a thick hydrogen atmosphere, like what the gas giants have, but just not quite as thick. But the result from that paper that got the most attention was this tentative claim of the detection of a molecule called dimethyl sulfide, which is what's known as a biosignature, a signature of life, a signature of biochemistry.
I'll tell you though,
that molecule.
why do we, and this is more of a existential question. Why do we want to find life? When has that ever worked out for any civilization? Look at the indigenous population in America. How did that work out for them that Europeans came over and said, hey, we come in peace? When has that worked out in Africa? Thanks, King Leopold. When has that ever worked out for any of the territories that Russia conquered over the past 400 years? Meeting someone who comes into your land and has better technology, how has that ever worked out? Like, if we find life, very, very small chance it'll be at the same stage that we are. You know, some well, I'm not even calling them humans. You don't have to call them humans. Just some civilization. They could have 4 legs, they could have 6 legs. But when has it ever worked out for the people with lower technology to do well? It just doesn't. So why would we even want to? And I think Stephen Hawking was right on this. Why would we ever want to invite people? Do we think they're just going to be our saviors? No. They're either going to be so advanced that they want nothing to do with us, or they see us as a resource-rich world, and maybe they could do to us what we've done to our own citizens.
In a planet's atmosphere. And the reason that dimethyl sulfide is linked in that way is because here on Earth, the only thing that we know of to produce dimethyl sulfide is microbial life. It is biochemistry. Now, this was tentative because it was an incredibly weak detection, with a 1 in 66 chance that what they found was a statistical fluke due to noise in their data. For context, in physics, we like those odds to be less than a 1 in 3.5 million chance before we're sure of a detection. And one of the reasons...
Wait. So that's interesting what she just said. What she's saying is there's a 1 in 60 chance that it's a fluke based on error because the signals weren't coming so strong. I actually think 1 in 60 is pretty good odds that it is something valuable. Now, what did she say? She said we like.
And one of the reasons that evidence
she said
chemistry.
In
physics, we like those odds.
1 in 3.5 million that it's a fluke. Well. 1 in 3.5 million is a lot. You have a better chance to win a lottery. That's like a 4-number lottery.
To be less than a 1 in 3.5 million chance.
If the chance is 1 in 60, that
one of the reasons
that it's a fluke, that's actually
so weak was that.
Oh, shut up, Becky. I'm talking. The fact that it's a 1 in 60 chance is actually pretty good odds that it's real.
Signature of the amount of light absorbed by the atmosphere by dimethyl sulfide, that bump there, was in the same place as a signature you expect from methane. Plus, as I've also covered in another video on my channel.
Man, I can tell you right now, understanding this graph, it's complicated. So what this tells me is, and this is the first time I've seen this. So this is using different detection methods. So the JWST would be the James Webb telescope. Some observation on the James Webb's telescope. That is a different detection that does, I guess it does a better job in certain wavelengths. What is this? Transit depth. I have no idea what transit depth is. All it is like you see all these signals of the probability that that element or compound exists. Yeah, this is understanding this is not easy.
With people finding different best fit models to that exact same data. For example, Wogan and collaborators point out that a mini Neptune gas atmosphere all the way down with no surface is equally as likely as a model as the Haitian world with dimethyl sulfide in its atmosphere. Whereas Shortall and collaborators claim that while
she's really going into depth. Like I can understand I would say half to 2/3 what she's saying, but it's pretty detailed. You probably have to have a background in chemistry, not even so much astrophysics. This is more of a It seems more like a biochemistry thing.
K218b does seem to have a very thick hydrogen-dominated atmosphere. Instead of being over a liquid water ocean, though, it's over a magma ocean, and they find no evidence for dimethyl sulfide.
Oh, I love that word. Remember from Austin Powers? Liquid magma.
There's also been this work from Schmidt and collaborators that was released just a few months ago, who reanalyzed again the same JWST data with 60 different codes that take the transit data and pull out the impact from the atmosphere, and 250 different codes that then fit a model of the atmosphere to the data. And with all of those, they say they do find a 4 sigma detection of methane, but no evidence for dimethyl sulfide or carbon dioxide. And instead say that K218b is most likely a mini Neptune with no liquid water ocean and no life in the atmosphere needed to explain the data from JWST. And if you watched my previous...
I do think that's most likely the case as well. Because we use our detection methods based on what we know. But what we don't know is if things interact in a way that we're not used to, that it could screw up the results. Is there an example I can give of this? I don't know how good of an example this is, but let's say you have 2 different people, and you might have seen the, let me see if I could bring this up. I'm going to bring the dress up. So people in the chat here, look at this dress that you're seeing on the screen. What are the 2 colors? You see a dress that has 2 colors on it. What 2 colors do you see? And I'll bet you the answer kind of could be different from person to person. Like everyone sees it in one way, not 2 ways. So we're observing the same thing. Some people see it as white and gold. Some people see it as black and blue. So we could look at the same thing and interpret the answers totally different from ourselves, just looking at the same phenomena. Well, I call it phenomena, same picture phenomena. So do you guys see this as white and gold, or do you guys see this as black and blue? Oh, don't everyone answer at once. I mean, that would be a democracy. But like, I'll tell you, I see this as black and blue. But you'd be surprised how many people see this as white and gold. I even think it's kind of, I don't think it was quite 50-50, but enough of it, people see it as 2 totally different sets of colors. Well, no one's posting. Darn, I give it a minute too. No one's posting if they see this dress as black and blue or white and gold. I guess we're gonna have to move on.
this video going through these different claims, you'll know that at the end I talked about, okay, well, how are we going to actually figure out what's going on here? And I said this. More JWST data is going to help here, specifically from the MIRI instrument on board JWST that goes to much longer wavelengths than NIRSpec. Which brings me to part 2, what Medusadan and collaborators have claimed to have found, this time using the MIRI instrument on board JWST, which looks at the much longer wavelengths of infrared light. And this data is crucial if you want to find out if there is actually dimethyl sulfide in the atmosphere of K218b. Because unlike at lower wavelengths, where that bump from dimethyl sulfide is in the same place as the bump from methane, at longer wavelengths, there's a few different bumps solely from dimethyl sulfide and dimethyl disulfide, both of which here on Earth are biosignatures. They are only produced by life. So with MIRI data from JWST, Medusadan and collaborators wanted to see if there was any stronger evidence for dimethyl sulfide at these wavelengths. Now they took that data back in April 2024 over 6 hours with just a single transit of K218b.
I do like the fact that she just said we took all this data that we're analyzing over 6 hours. No, not over a 6-year period, not over a 6-month period, over 6 hours. So over 6 hours, one of the fundamental things that she said earlier on was the planet rotates around the sun. I think like it rotates like in a month. In a month, it rotates all the way around. So it's really close to the sun. So you would get a much better set of data if you kind of sampled out, taking different sets of data when the planet is kind of revolving around the sun. You probably can only do it for half a cycle. Like once the planet starts going kind of behind the sun, you don't get accurate data. It's just going to get hidden behind the sun from the perspective of where the James Webb Telescope would be.
Of its star. They did the whole comparison of before and after the transit, taking the light of the star away to isolate just the impact of the atmosphere, and here's what they found. So the horizontal axis here is the wavelength of light detected, and the vertical axis is the amount of light absorbed. The browny reddish points are the data they got from JWST, and they have the error bars there showing how uncertain that measurement is. Generally speaking, like the bigger the error bar, the more noise you have in your data. The blue line.
Oh, the other thing is, well, hold on.
And they have.
So there's two things. So even these error bars that they show here, which is the red, the red bars, saying that we detected it here, but it could actually be anywhere between here and here. That's very common when plotting charts and stuff. But even that, if you take even a very introductory course of statistics at the college level, that that's not 100%. 100% can never really be attained. So there is some certain percentage, like it could be 95% confidence intervals, it could be 99%, but it's never going to be 100% that you're just absolutely sure it's between here and here.
Of the error bars there showing how uncertain that measurement is. Generally speaking, like the bigger the error bar, the more noise you have in your data. The blue line is their best fit model atmosphere to the data, with the blue shaded regions once again showing the uncertainty of that. And the yellow point is like they've observed the blue line with JWST and got out the points at the same wavelengths as
this actually brings up a bigger interesting point of how important math is in almost every aspect of what we do. And it could go from astrophysics like this to chemistry to polling. You do polls, and the polls say that Trump has a 53% chance of winning this state or this county, and then you always see this thing called plus or minus, right? There's a plus or minus based on it's actually based on the number of people that are polled. The less people that are polled, the bigger the error is going to be. The more people are polled, obviously, the less the error is going to be. But even that is there's always a percent confidence behind it. Did I like that course? Yeah, I was okay with that course. It's like a necessary course to learn.
Brown data points. Essentially, like the difference between the brown and the yellow helps you see the difference in the data to the model and whether the model predictions fall outside of those uncertainties on the data, outside of those error bars. And if you compare this...
Come on, people. I still want to do a music stream, but we only have like 2 people that said they want to do it. And really we should get like 5. I'll do it with 4, but I'm not gonna do it with 3. And we're back to the dress. I can't believe some people think that this color is white. It's just totally not white. But I think that's just how the cones and rods in our brain, in our eyes are perceiving it. I don't know if I see blue and green here. Miles, are you probably joking because blue and green? I don't think that's even something people see. But there is a lot of people that see this as blue, white, and gold. All right, we're going to take a final count of people that want to play the music quiz. I've been kind of rambling for 45 minutes. I do have the music quiz questions all worked out. And we could do it. We could do it if there's enough people want to play. Otherwise, we'll just fade into the nighttime and see who else is on. Oh, actually, let's do that. Let's see who else is on. So I have a backup when this does not go well. Damn, no one's on right now. That's probably why people are here. No one else is on. Yes, Sean. I see. Wait, you see blue, gray, green? I do not see any green at all. I see purely blue and black. And I know this is it's not just a function of the monitors, because you might think that your specific monitor might make it look a different color. I showed my own family this photo years ago, and we all looked at the same screen and we came up with different answers. Like even my own family members had different answers from what I saw. This is one of the more interesting things that shows us who we are and how different we are. You want to come on, Sean? I don't know if we're going to do a music quiz. I really want to do one, but we just didn't get enough people, it looks like. This is the last day of my freedom tour 2025 before my wife and daughter come back from West Virginia. They stayed, well, not they stayed there. They're there last night and tonight in a really not a fancy hotel, but kind of like a step up from a basic hotel. They said the cable went out in the hotel. And I'm like, yeah, that's because West Virginia probably only has one repair guy in the whole state. All right, I'll give it another 5 minutes. I'll say this: in 5 minutes, no one wants to come on. Since we're not going to do a music quiz, no one wants to do a music quiz. I was just trying to carry on Steph's tradition of doing a music quiz on Saturday night. I could just go downstairs and eat Chef Boyardee ravioli, but I prefer to stay on and talk to people. That's always more fun. Are you going on tonight, Internet Monster? Oh, I actually hear the thunder starting. All this weather that happened today, kind of like in the Midwest area, is now starting to hit us. We were spared for the whole day. It was kind of an overcast day. Sometimes it was sunny, sometimes it was cloudy. It did hit like 80, 82. So it wasn't a cool day. It was a little bit on the warm side. Or we're going to have to start playing random Taliban music. I guess by playing this, I'm now on the CIA watch list. Well, I probably was before. I was probably on some watch list. I had to renew my passport, and it's taking forever. Like I started a process before my wife did. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Tozy.
Hey, I was explaining. I started the process to renew my passport, which you have to do every 10 years in the U.S. So I started the process to renew it, and in the time that I started it, my wife had to renew hers too. So she came in, she renewed it, and she got it. And mine is still in process. I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know if they're looking at the fact that I traveled to Middle East countries. There's something going on. I'm guessing they don't like so much.
Where'd you go in the Middle East?
Doha.
All right.
Yeah, Doha.
But you didn't get a stamp.
No, I did not get a stamp. No.
You just stopped. It was a transition. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did you like it?
The airport?
Yeah.
It's a very good airport. I love the airport. They have They actually have transportation, like rail carts that go within the airport to other parts of the airport. So they do have a transport. Now, the annoying thing is when you fly in for some countries, you have to recheck all your stuff. So you have to take your shoes off again, go through security again. That's annoying because like why would they do that if they knew you came from a country that already checked you? Why would they do that? But they do that. So that's annoying. But once you get, and you can't bring water and stuff past those points. So that's annoying too. But once you get past that, the airport's very well laid out.
Yeah. I can't really remember it, but I've been in the airport. Yeah. It's better than I like Abu Dhabi for Etihad.
Yeah, I've never been there because they don't have a flight out of Philadelphia, so I've never had the opportunity to fly. But I hear really good things about Etihad.
Abu Dhabi.
Or Dubai, both of them.
I like Dubai. No, I don't. I don't really like Dubai anymore. It used to be good and simple, but Yeah, it's a bit crazy at Dubai.
Yeah,
Du-
never been there. Never been there. And as it turns out, I'm not going there. If all holds up with my travel plans, which I still have to tell my wife about. I'm waiting for her to be in a really, really good mood.
Mm.
Oh, Ron. Oh, you got rescheduled. Oh, you're going tomorrow. Okay. You're going tomorrow. Yeah, you're lucky. You're if you're in Baltimore, you're probably really close to Dulles. Dulles, huge airport. That gives a lot more opportunity. Like I got to fly up to. I used to be able to fly out from Qatar, going directly from Philadelphia to Doha, but now I got to go to Boston first and wait like 3 hours in Boston. No, I think it's 2 hours in Boston. So I got to wait in Boston and then take Boston to Doha because they just don't fly out of Philadelphia anymore. I guess the demand wasn't big enough. There's a lot more mongers in Baltimore, Washington D.C. area than there are in Philadelphia, South Jersey.
That's pretty shit, isn't it? When you hop on a plane and you get to a destination. This is what happens in Europe: is that you get to a destination and you're out looking at the sights and you run into people that were on the same plane. It's a bit annoying.
I almost got. Did I ever tell you this story? Or I almost got a $2,000 flight credit for my this previous trip to Thailand because they overbooked the flight and no one wanted to take the travel credit. They started it was like $900 travel credit or something. No one wanted to do that. So what they do is they keep on raising it by $200. So no one wanted to take it at 11. No one wanted to take it at 13. One person wanted to take it at 15. They had to clear 5 seats. I said one hit like 1,900. I said, oh, I'll take it. And I was on the list. I was on the list at the very end, but they said, well, tomorrow's flight, we could rebook you for tomorrow, but tomorrow's flight, we can't get you to Doha because the flight's full. So they said, you have to go on this flight. I was like, damn, I lost out on an opportunity to get like a $1,900 travel credit from the airlines, a $1,900 travel credit just for losing one day of my vacation. So I would have gone the next night, but they didn't have any free flights the next night.
Oh, that's no good. That's not good at all.
Well, I just
That's down with that kind of shit.
Like one day didn't make a difference at all. Like I said, yeah, I'll take the travel credit. So I was on the list, but I got rejected from the list.
That's no good at all. That is terrible.
So they sent me on my flight, and that was when I had the window seat, and the guy sitting next to me in the middle pretended he was sleeping, so I couldn't go to the bathroom.
So you pissed in the seat, did you? Or
no, I held it in, and I was really uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's shit.
Yeah,
that's no good at all. I don't give a shit. If I need a piss, I just wake people up. If I need to, yeah. Yeah, but I know these are the games that play on in your head when you're on the flight. The thought games in the flight. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck them. Like if your blood is about to go, you got to go.
Yeah, I was probably having a diabetic attack. And I think I think actually flying, when you fly in the air, like they pump. more oxygen in. It kind of dries you out, so you need to drink more, so you have to go to the bathroom more.
Yeah.
So that's what I think was happening.
All right.
I had to go like 5 times on that trip. Now it was what was it like?
2 hours.
Like a
Was it?
13. Oh, the flight from Philadelphia to Doha, it's like I think it's like 13 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long trip. And the trip I did book, I could reserve a seat, but now they want to charge me an extra $100 to get a seat. I'm like, I've already booked the flight and paid for it. Now you want to charge me $100? And it's not like it's for a business class. It's not for business class or first class. It's just to book a whatever seat I want back in coach.
Nothing wrong with coach. I've only caught
No, I've only done coach.
business class once, and that
Mhm.
was by accident in Vietnam. I got business class to Hanoi from Saigon.
Mm-hmm.
And when I booked the ticket, they said, "This is the only flight you can get. This is the only price you can. This is the only, yeah,
Wait, so they made you pay for business class?
yeah." Like they didn't
Oh,
that.
man, business class is so expensive.
They didn't explain to me that it was business class. They just said, "This is the only."
Oh, damn.
You know, like I wanted to go from Saigon to Hanoi, and I just went, "Yeah, I just want to fly here," and they said that's the price, and I said, "Can't you get it cheaper?" They said that's the price, so I paid for it, and it turned out to be business class from Saigon to Hanoi, and I didn't know it was business class. I sat on the flight. I went, "Why the fuck isn't there anyone in here? There's no one on the flight here." I was thinking, this seat is great. There's no one else here. And then it took pretty much the whole flight to realize that I was actually sitting in business class. So, yeah, it took a while for the penny to drop.
Mm.
Yeah. So, yeah, so it does look like she's wearing blue and khaki. No, what's it? Khaki green? Khaki green?
Oh,
Yeah.
so you see this as green? Yeah, I don't see this as
Yeah.
green at all. But it could be because our monitors are different. Yeah, I kind of see this as it's not like the deepest black, but it's the very top of the dress. The very top does look a shade of green, but everything but the top
Yeah.
looks like a mixture of blue and black. But like I was saying before, I showed this picture to my family on the same monitor that I'm looking at. Well, not looking at here, but we all looked at the monitor at the same time, and we saw it differently. Like the colors that we identified were different. What do you mean, B. Ron? You didn't book any flights yet? How could you be? Wait, how could you be down in DC and not book any flights?
He didn't book any hotels
Well, he says or flights.
or flights to Cambodia.
No, he didn't say Cambodia.
Udon Thani.
Ah, Thai domestic.
Thai domestic flights.
Okay. Yeah, good thing. Yeah, good thing you didn't. Hey, Robert V.
Something's off. That's not like Robert V to say that, actually. He's very in tune with what's going on.
You know what's going on here right now? And I love this when this happens. It's raining, so I can't really cut the lawn right now. I just have to stay on me and Chef Boyardee.
Is there still?
You have Chef Boyardee there in Ireland? You have the chef making your beef ravioli.
Yeah, it looks disgusting. Yeah.
No, it's very good.
Okay.
It's
Wholesome.
canned. It lasts like 2
It looks
years.
disgusting but wholesome.
It's one of those things that you enjoy eating when you eat it, and maybe a few hours later.
I'd eat that if I was on a trek in the army.
Yes, that's exactly what
And
it is. It's 320 calories.
It was a 30-day trek, and we were on day 29. I'd like go, yeah.
I think Johnny Blaze has it right. He's saying this is a bachelor's meal. Yes, these past 2 days I've been a bachelor because I just have. I wake up when I want. All I have to do is like take the dog out when the dog has to go out, and go get the mail. And even that I'm not doing a good job on.
Where's your wife? Is she?
Yeah, she's in another state. They went to my niece's baby shower. I do have one kid. I have one kid left over, but I don't know where he's at. He's kind of been gone all day.
Is he a PlayStation kid or a Xbox kid?
No. I would say just computer, no gaming stuff.
He's not a gamer.
Nah, he's not a gamer. He does like I would say he likes going to the gym, but he does a gym.
He works out, yeah, with Dad.
No, we go to different gyms. I actually have a free membership for life.
What'd you do to get that?
Yeah. Back when there was a company called Bally's Fitness, very popular in the United States back in the 1980s and 1990s, and they used to have lifetime memberships. And not only did they have lifetime memberships, but you could sell your lifetime membership to someone else. So back in the mid 90s, I bought a lifetime membership from some guy in New York.
How much was that? What was the damage? Oh, Tyzee's crashed. He's crashed. If Tyzee's crashed his computer, I'd like an affirmation of that. Has Tyzee crashed his computer? Okay, we play some music. Play some music to get by. First, you need to tune your guitar. A B E I D K D. God fucking damn it. G.
that crash again. My damn computer.
Crashed again. Don't know when. I'll be back
You know,
live with you,
You wanna hear-
my friend.
you want to hear something funny, Sean?
I'll be back again. Crashed again. I don't know when. I'll be back, but I'll be back again. Crashed again. And I don't know why. 'Cause I'm a preacher when I walk. And I don't know quite how to talk. Crashed again. Don't know when. I'll be back, but I'll be back again for you. In your heart. That's a song about crashing your computer.
Okay. Thank you, Sean. I am back, but hold on, I have to change my underwear.
All right, you going for what? From yellow to brown, are you? Or...
I am going to more comfortable underwear, given the circumstances.
All right, and you got. Okay, I can. All right. Given the circumstances, underwear. Underwear.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I am back. Yeah. This is it happens.
Have
every
you
time.
changed the? Have you changed the color of your underwear, or have you added, like a bit of sanitary padding, or?
No, the underwear the underwear's fine. I don't care. Like very, very few people actually get a chance to see the color of it. Yeah, that's what Chris has it right. We got $19 for a lap dance and $1 for a cigarette.
That's a good song.
It is. It is. I was surprised. I was surprised on the chat yesterday. Most people didn't realize or ever heard of that song before. As posted brilliantly by Mookie Wilson.
It's a good song.
Yeah. I got $19 for a cigarette.
I got $19 for a cigarette.
$19
$19 for a lap dance.
Damn it! I have.
But I ain't got $1 for a
backwards.
cigarette. But I got $1 for a cigarette.
I should probably. I should bring it up again. It was such a good short. One of the best shorts of 2025. Mookie Wilson does a lot of creative stuff. Let's see if I can find him. Unfortunately, I have like 120 to 150 channels, so finding the channel I'm looking for isn't always easy. Wait, am I not subscribed to Mookie? I thought I would be subscribed to Mookie. Maybe I'm not subscribed to him. I don't know why that would be. I thought I was. I had $19.
Is there
Oh, sorry.
is it raining where you are at the
Yeah.
moment?
Yeah, it's raining. It
It's
just
rain-
started raining. I was
Can hear
considering cutting the lawn today, but I'm like, I don't want to go through that today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to sneeze, and I got the rain in the background. Whew. So I'm trying to mute it while I'm sneezing, so it's not such a shock. Darn it! Just as there wasn't a. There we go. There wasn't the baseball player. There we go. Hold on, I can play this.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you can hear that, right? I would say this should be in competition for the short of 2025. There we go.
You know, Barry got about 500 pounds tonight.
Did he really? Okay.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
His goal of what should I say his goal is? His goal is convincing people to believe in his vision. I guess that's a good way to put it. Well, it certainly went well tonight.
Yeah, he did well. He got he got probably about 550 pound altogether. But then you've got the YouTube.
My wife's calling, but I'm not answering it. It's
That's very naughty. That's very naughty. I think you should answer it. You should answer it and say hello.
No. Like
I feel
I can't answer it because the weather outside is so bad. It's like storming. Now it's storming really, really hard here. Like I could hardly hear. I could hardly hear the phone. Mookie for president. Well, actually, I would say Mookie for president. He certainly can't do a worse job than our current president. But I don't want to get into politics. Hello, stranger.
Good day, everybody.
Good day, Chris. Hi, Chris. Not to be confused with SOS Chris, who we also have sometimes come on.
Good day, Sean.
yeah. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm all right. Having a little bit of dinner, relaxing, watch the Kentucky Derby, watch the sprint race this afternoon, the Formula One, and the qualifying. Yeah, relaxing Saturday.
Did any of the top three win?
I'm not sure.
Damn.
I don't follow horse racing like that.
I
think Internet Monster posted the winner.
Yeah, I made bets this morning, but as soon as I made the bets, I posted the 9. I posted the top 3 favorites to win. I posted a win, place, and show for so the top 3 like the for 3 bets each, win, place, show each, so 9 bets total. But the minimum, I didn't get the minimum that you had to bet, so it didn't accept the bets, and I'm like, I don't want to go through this all again. So I
What's the
didn't
minimum?
actually get the bets in
What's the minimum you had to bet?
$1.
Okay.
I tried 50 cents, but it didn't take it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I figure I'm making 9 bets. I don't want to bet a whole $9 for the Kentucky Derby, which I know nothing about. So I tried for 50 cents a bet, but at the very end, it took each one until I got to the last one, the 9th one, and then I hit like proceed, and then it said no, you don't meet the minimum. I don't actually care about the money, the winning part of it. I just want to know if my thought process wins. That's what's more important.
I mean, like statistically?
Yes. Like statistically today, there was a baseball game I thought was very, very interesting. There was a team that has a pitcher that is 0-5 against a team that the pitcher is 5-1. But the 0-5 pitcher is favored. To me, that means that something's not right. And you take the 0-5 pitcher. So I guess I'll see how that works out.
But you like bet for the outright win of the game, right? Not that the pitcher wins or loses. So what?
Right. I would say the outright winner. It's
Well,
very
could it be that the other team has like some injury or suspension or something?
yeah.
I don't know.
Right. But the people who bet baseball, the one thing they look at the most is who are the pitchers that are starting the game.
Okay.
That's the most important thing. That's actually more important than who the quarterback is in a football game. By far. And it was very interesting how the team with the pitcher who was 0-5 was a favorite against the team with the pitcher who's 5-1. So I said, this is a gimme. This team is going to win easily. It was close, but I'm going to take the 0-5 team.
And did you win?
Well, it's still going on. Actually, it may not be going on. It might be a rain delay right now because there's a huge storm going across the United States from I think it's from like South Carolina in the south all the way up to like Pennsylvania or New York in the north. I could hear it outside. Like I hear the rain hitting the air conditioning. Bum, 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 bum. But how are you doing? Since we last talked yesterday.
Yeah, I'm all right. I just said what I did today. Tomorrow's going to be another lazy day. And then Monday, back to full force, full strength.
Yeah. I took the day off from the gym today. What did I do? I did take the dog to the track. In his older years, he actually only likes to walk around once, which is a half mile. He doesn't like to do more than one lap, but I took him 2 times. It took a little bit of coercing to get him to do the second time. Like when I was trying to get him to do the second time and he was right next to the car, he kind of stood there. He's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go again. He stood right next to the car trying to get back into the car.
How old's the dog?
Like 11.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's I would say sometimes Chihuahuas could last 15, 17, 18 years. I don't think he's doing all that well. We don't know his whole history. We got him as a rescue dog. He came from the South. They transported him and a bunch of dogs because the South of the U.S. produces a lot of dogs. So they generally ship them to the North, and then they get people to rescue them so they don't have to euthanize them, which is terrible practice, by the way. I hate when I hear that they have to euthanize dogs. But so we got him as a rescue dog, and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, we gave him well, we're in the process. We're giving him a much better life than he otherwise would have had.
Excellent. I don't have time for a dog. Wish I could
Yeah,
have one,
it's
but
tough. It's actually tough.
my life.
It's been tough like the last 2 days because I'm the only one now taking him out. I woke up at like 3 a.m. yesterday, and I took him out, and he had to go really bad. I took him at 3, and then he wanted to go out like at 6 or 7 in the morning, and then I took him out again at like 11. It was just constantly taking him out. I have to take him out again tonight before I go to bed, but it's raining right now, so it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, a friend of mine, him and his girlfriend had a dog, and then they broke up. And it was like, oh, who's gonna get the dog and why? And then he ended up taking the dog. Felt bad for the dog because I mean, okay, he was sort of used to being at home during work hours and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he would come home at lunchtime or whatever. He was close enough to work to where he could come home at lunch and go for like a really short walk. I don't know.
Yeah.
That dog had a mind of its own. Every time I was like a stranger, and I hung out with my friend like at least twice a week. I'd just come by, or he'd come by with the dog.
And every time you go by, the dog's like, I don't recognize this guy. I'm going to start barking at him.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? Who are you? Get away!
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, like. But then I have friends. Another friend, the whole family lives at home. They got 2 dogs, and both the dogs. Doesn't matter how long I've been. I don't think I've been there in like. Last time I went there was like probably like 4 weeks, and the second I got there, it was like, oh, my best friend's back. My best friend. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, she likes you. I don't do anything. I'm just here. And yeah, so strange. Different personalities, different characters, different reactions. A friend of mine in Thailand has I guess it's a Chihuahua, but it's like, you have like short hair, and then you have like ones that are like a little bit more bristly, I guess, a little bit longer hair.
Usually,
Yeah, so it's like,
yeah. I was gonna say usually the first criteria of separating Chihuahuas are the apple heads versus the like doe deer heads. That's like the first criteria people separate them by, and then like the long hair versus short hair.
well, their dog's got a little bit. It's like wiry hair. It's a little bit longer, but it's not that long. And it's got like that wire, like sort of like on its head that like sticks out everywhere. That's really weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, but also a lovely dog.
The apple heads, with the really short snouts, and they're typically like shorter dogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like Chihuahuas. Like people say they're really smart. From my experience, they're not very intelligent dogs.
Yeah, well, I mean, their dogs sort of like when it goes outside and stuff. I think their dog's pretty smart. Like when it needs to go outside, it'll just go to the door and look at the door and look at the owners. Look at the door. Oh, you want to go outside?
Yes. Ours does the same thing. Yeah.
So
he'll come into my room here, and he'll come up to the chair that I'm sitting on, and he'll so he kind of has to stand up on 2 legs, and he'll do his paw on the chair I'm sitting on to let me know that he wants to go out. So yeah, that part, yeah, I'm used to that.
Yeah, and when I was visiting their home, it would like come out and start like hunting lizards and geckos and stuff.
Okay.
It's funny.
Yeah. No, they like that. Our dog has nothing to do with any animal. Like he's scared of rabbits, squirrels, and these are really, really small animals, smaller than him. Wants nothing to do
Yeah.
with rabbits or squirrels. He looks away, and other dogs. He just looks away. He doesn't want anything to do with other dogs. I think he probably was abused before we got him. He was abused by other animals, so he just kind of shies away.
Yeah. Yeah, but their dog's pretty cool. Always when people come hyper excited to meet everybody, check everybody out,
Yeah.
to get petted. Yeah. No, I just don't have time.
Oh, I just checked the. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I just checked the score of that game I bet on with the 0-5 pitcher being a favorite against the 5-1 pitcher. The 0-5 pitcher is now up 7-0. This is baseball, so it's pretty much over. Yeah, 7 in the top of the 6th inning, and it's probably a rain delay now because I live pretty close to where they play. Yeah, this is like easy money.
Okay. When is it a complete game if it's rained out, or do
Fifth
they
inning.
play again like
Yes,
the
good
next
question.
day?
That's a very good question.
Okay.
It's called the 5th inning is when it could be official.
Okay. So pretty much it's the 7th,
It's
only
over.
2 more innings left. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they might call it now. They might just play the whole game out. But 7-0 lead is very, very. It's like a
well, that's
95% chance of winning, easily 95.
that's substantial in baseball.
Yeah.
That's a substantial lead.
Yes. Yeah, I would say in football, 7-0 in baseball is probably like 28-0 in football.
Sort of like the Super Bowl.
Yeah, which I enjoyed. I completely enjoyed that, watching it from Danny's sports bar. It was.
I actually watched it at home, but I went to like a local, like around. There's like a bar and they have like a little convenience store. So I don't forget what I didn't have. I said, oh, let me just pop down there, and they put up like a big screen and everything at the bar, and there's people in there with their KC jerseys.
Yeah.
And I was like, at halftime, I was like, I should just go down there and start laughing at them, because there was no way Casey was gonna win. Not after there was no way. I mean, they did it. They came back from so many games in that year, like throughout the regular season, but no.
Yeah.
That was like that was too far to go.
I agree.
Plus
I
they
feel bad
were
for Buffalo. Buffalo is like a really good team, and their kryptonite, their nemesis, just is Kansas City. They just have so many problems facing Kansas City in the playoffs.
Their kryptonite is the playoffs, period. What? How many times did they reach the Super Bowl in the 90s?
Oh, I remember
Like
that in the 1980s.
Four times in a row?
Four times, yeah.
Jim Kelly.
Yes, Jim Kelly.
That guy had a rough. Thurman Thomas.
I remember him. Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith, Andre Reed, right?
And who was the kicker? There was a kicker that could have won it in one of the Super Bowls.
Norman.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. He never lived that moment down.
Well,
I
not everybody can be.
I remember Buffalo back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Not everybody can be what's his name? Vinatieri.
Yeah. Yeah. You're talking about one of the best kickers ever, Vinatieri.
The Steelers got one of the best kickers ever. It's just we don't win anything. Chris
And,
Boswell is a pretty good kicker.
yeah, Steelers and Baltimore has one that's really, really good.
Tucker, but he's
Yeah.
is it Tucker? It's Tucker,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think it's Tucker. Yeah.
Yeah, but the year before he was like, what a cannon. But this past year he's missed.
Yeah, I
Like-
remember that.
Like
I think he missed extra points.
yeah,
Something went wrong with Tucker this year.
so what? Speaking about sports, what do you think about the whole Shannon Sharp thing? If you care,
I heard a clip about it. He's accused of something. I don't know the full details of it. Hold on, I could check it out. Shannon. I did hear. I remember when he played too, and I remember his brother Sterling Sharp. What's he accused? Oh, sexual assault. Yeah. It's unfortunate. He should go through due process.
well, it's a civil case, not even a criminal case. It's really weird.
Yeah. And yeah, companies. I don't know. Like, so I don't know. I don't know the details about it. It doesn't.
Okay.
It never looks good when a sports figure gets accused of this.
No, I thought I don't know what you watched to keep up with sports or not. Do you watch anything?
I do a
in
little bit.
particular?
Not lately. No, I would say I don't watch Sports Center or anything lately. I did know the Shannon. I do know the Shannon Sharp kind of from like a news clip that he was in trouble for something. I just looked it up and it says the sexual assault, but I don't know any of the details on it. What do you think?
Yeah, man, that's a couple things in there. It's like, well, I mean, look, what I don't really like is when the people. I mean, I guess it's their job as broadcasters or what, have this whole holier than thou attitude about what you need to do and how you need to lead your life and how you be successful. I mean, everybody's got skeletons in their closet, you know.
Yeah.
But he met that girl. He's what, 56 now? He
Yeah.
met that girl when she was 19. That means he was what, 54, 53 or something like that? I don't know.
Okay. So she was already over 18, so that covers many of the taboos that people have.
Well, yeah, I mean. Okay.
So is it just a question? Is he married? And
No,
because
no.
if he wasn't married, it would be nothing more than what Bill Belichick is doing.
That's true. Bill
So
Belichick.
I don't know. Why would it be a civil case? Is it because?
Well,
it's
she's
it's an assault?
accusing
Oh,
of
she's accusing. Oh, okay.
certain stuff
Okay.
that's not criminally being prosecuted. It's a civil case.
Yeah.
She sued him for like $50 million.
Ah, well, that sounds like a sounds like a girl who knows the opportunity has come. I don't know enough
Yeah.
about it to make an informed decision of what I think.
Well,
But I would say that, I mean, if it was consensual, then why is there even a lawsuit? It must be something that's not consensual. But if it's not consensual, then why is it a civil case and not a criminal case?
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Shannon Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, I mean, I respect his views on football. But like the shit he says about basketball and stuff, like even though I don't follow it, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I rather watch what's the guys? Charles Barkley, Shaq, and Kenny Smith
Yeah.
talk about football. rather than basketball. Sorry, rather than Shannon. Actually, my favorite show to watch, or has become my favorite show to watch
Mhm.
during the football season, is First Things First. Even though that guy who basically is the center of it is a big KC fan, I still think like their show is, in my opinion, the best football show.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't even watch like. Do you when you watch football? Do you watch like the pregame stuff that they have?
So the way it works on local TV here is, they have the half hour before the games. So we're talking about CBS and Fox. Kurt Menefee on one side and
Exactly.
Jay Brown on the other side.
Yeah.
They actually look very similar to each other. So I can't always distinguish. But like one of them has was Howie Long and Jimmy Johnson. The other one has that ex-coach of the Steelers and
Bill Cowher. Come on.
Yeah, Bill Cowher. And
Terry Bradshaw. Come on. You forget all the Steelers, man. Shit.
Yes. So I'm more of those. Same. And before that half hour, they have a local half hour just of the local team, which in my case would be the Eagles.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy watching those. I think they do a good job. I think I don't
really watch the pregame anymore.
Oh, okay. I do like them when I watch them.
But I think that's more.
It's actually been a really weird season for the Eagles. Like, if you were to ask Eagles fans, do they think the Eagles have a chance of winning, like the Super Bowl? It wasn't until later on in the season, probably after they beat the Steelers and the Ravens, that people started really getting on the train. Until then, because of last season, how disastrous the season was, that people would generally say, "Oh, they're a good team, but like they're still missing. We're a lot of parts. We're not sold on Jalen Hurts being able to accomplish what he needs to do." It's been an odd season that you wouldn't have thought this would be the year that they won. Like the year back when they lost the Super Bowl to Kansas City 3 years ago, that was a really, really good team where they were the clear favorites. They were expected to win. And then of course, Arizona put so much water on the turf that the Eagles were just slipping and falling everywhere. But that's another story, I guess, for another time, how they cheated.
Well, I think the last call was bullshit with the pass interference or whatever it was.
On this most recent Super Bowl?
The one that you guys lost to KC.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was like a minute left. Who was that? It wasn't Slay. It was the other guy that the Eagles got from New York. Yeah, that was kind of like a touchy call. I do remember that.
Schuster,
yeah, they were talking about that for a while. Like why would you call that in the last minute or so in a game? Very, very touchy call.
Ticky-tack foul. I think.
Yeah, that's a perfect word for it. They call it that. Yeah, they call it that here too, ticky-tack.
Let him play, man. Just let him play. I didn't think it was, but no. Like, he wasn't impeded that much. Plus, I don't even remember, was this ball even catchable or like remotely catchable? Like,
yeah,
it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense.
That Super Bowl actually hurt. That hurt a lot because there was a lot of bitter fans after that. Not bitter against the Eagles, but they're just bitter against, exactly for the reasons that you're saying.
Well, after that Super Bowl, then everything, you should see the memes on the internet and on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Like the referees have on KC colors. They're ready for the game. Stuff like that. So, yeah, but a lot of people believe that narrative. I mean, look, the speed that they're running and the amount of athleticism that they're using to make plays for those refs to see everything like they do, yeah, they're gonna miss a call or two, and they're gonna make a wrong call here or there. But I think in general, it's not so terrible.
Oh, I never told you this story. Back when I was in middle school, 7th grade, my history teacher was an NFL referee. Which is
Okay.
weird. Like, yeah, and like at the time, no, so I'm in 7th grade, so I'm like I'm either 13 or 7th grade, so I'd be like 12, 13 years old. Probably, yeah, 12 or 13 years old. But my history teacher was an NFL referee. Did the games every Sunday. He said, "Oh, I have to teach because the NFL actually doesn't pay referees very well."
But that was a big part of the debate, about getting better or more, even more consistent referees or judging of the games. I don't know how many billions of dollars the owners make, how many billions of dollars the leagues makes, how many billions of dollars everything costs,
Mm-hmm.
and the refs, you can't pay them. Come on, man. Like, can't you just give them like
Yeah.
whatever the league minimum is? I mean, they go out every game and they play, they ref. It's not like they're not doing anything, and then they can concentrate more on honing their craft of being fair, impartial, and catching everything.
Yeah. There are a lot of like it's human nature, like whether it's holding or not. Let's just look at the offensive line. Like you can say every play
Okay.
there's some level of holding. Like how do you actually call holding? Because
Well, the thing is, look,
it's
the ball's gone within 2.5 seconds. So how are you going to judge a whole line? How many people on the line? Like 6? Most of the time, 6, 7. I mean, they still do a pretty good job.
no, I agree they do a good job, but the job is not definitive. Like it's not where you're bowling and you could judge whether someone gets 10 pins down or not 10 pins down. It's there are a lot of like questionable holds. Is this really a hold or not? It is difficult.
Well, the
With
thing
as
is,
much
look,
money as they have,
it also depends. It also depends on the refs themselves, like how far they'll let something go before they throw the flag. I think
yeah,
there's like wherever the barrier is. I mean, there's the rule, and then there's like how not it's interpreted, but like when the ref says, "Okay, I saw that. Okay, then this is definitely a hold, 100%."
an interesting idea that they could actually kind of stop any debate about it is have the offensive and defensive lines have to wear special gloves where you can't hold. Right? You can't hold with
Like
those
mittens or something like that.
Yes, mittens. Exactly. If you have that, you cannot grab someone and throw them to the ground, which eliminates all those holds. It might be like a simple solution for something that costs like $5. And it may be the most brilliant solution ever. You never have to worry about a hold again.
What really? Okay, I mean now with the instant replay and the cameras they've got and the amount of cameras they've got and being able to
I don't
determine
think you can't challenge a hold.
determine. No. But like what I was getting to is like they still measure the 10 yards with 2 sticks and a piece of chain.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's right.
can't you just put like a microchip in the ball?
Yes, that's not only one. Put 2 microchips in the ball, one at either end of the ball. Right? Because we put one microchip at one end of the ball. It doesn't necessarily say where the ball went to, but 2 microchips on the ball is much more accurate.
However you're going to make it work, just make it work.
They have the
because
and it's so cheap to implement. Yes,
some of these spots.
Yes.
I mean, look, if it's, I don't think, like for Philadelphia example, okay, if it's first and goal or half a yard and goal, you guys are going to do the tush push. You're going to get a touchdown. That's pretty much like 95% of the time. That's what's going to happen, right? Or your fourth
And
and
give-
one, fourth
I
and a
give
half a yard.
Dan Campbell.
Okay,
I give Dan Campbell credit for coming out and saying, you know what, that's a legal play. Let's figure out how to stop it. Not these stupid Green Bay Packer fans saying, "Oh no, this is ruining the sport."
no. I mean, if it was ruining the sport, everybody would be doing it. The only people who are doing it with any great success are the Eagles, because
And not
whoever
only the Eagles,
whoever figured it out knows
Yeah.
how to coach the
Not only
people
the
to
Eagles.
do what they do in that split second to create that result, and why not?
do you
And
remember?
it's
Do you remember the times the Eagles tried it without Jalen Hurts? They tried it like 3 times without Jalen Hurts, and they failed 2 out of 3 times.
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Maybe because Jalen Hurts can squat 600 pounds, that he gets enough push to do it. Yeah, but the Eagles trying to do the tush push without Jalen Hurts is pretty much 50-50. So it's not like it's a really successful play, but with him, it's like 90%.
Did you Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, look, you had back in the day, you had Troy Polamalu, who used to just jump over the line
Yeah, I
and
remember.
tackle the.
He
Yeah, I
was-
mean, look, no,
He was awesome.
before nobody would do that, and okay, maybe you could do that against the tush push. Difficult, but possible.
Yep.
What was I gonna say? The other thing. Did you follow the draft at all? About
A little bit. Like
Deion
for the
Sanders?
obviously for
son?
the Eagles, that was they drafted very last in the first round, so they're basically drafting last in every round. This was like the 1 year in the last 5 years that I thought it was for that team, for our team, most inconsequential. But yes, I did see it, and I love how Sanders kept on slipping from round to round. I thought that was great.
I'm not too sure if that's, but whatever. It's I thought he would for sure go in the second round.
Yes.
I guess
I
not.
thought so too. If you had asked me 50-50 chance, at least 50 chance that he gets drafted second round, I would have said yes as well.
Now now Cleveland's got 4 people in their quarterback room.
I know.
got
I
him.
know.
Deshaun Watson,
Uh-huh.
Joe Flacco, and that other guy that they drafted.
They got one of the guys from the Eagles. Who was it? The Eagles guy,
Former
they got
Steeler.
from Pittsburgh.
Pickett.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett, Mister 8-inch hands. I think my hands are bigger than Kenny Pickett's.
Look, I think, yeah, that's a sore subject for me.
Whoa,
For
who,
them, for
Pickett
me,
or-
like just quarterbacks in general for the Steelers, like I don't think I've seen anything about Aaron Rodgers. But why would we want to have Aaron Rodgers? Like, okay,
I would stay away
I
from
mean-
Aaron Rodgers. I would stay.
the
I
man
would
can
stay completely.
fling the rock, but
well,
he can fling the
what
rock.
you know is he used to be able to fling the rock.
Hmm.
I think
In the second half of the season,
yeah.
last season, he was throwing pretty good, man. He was throwing.
Yeah,
I mean, look, he had an Achilles injury. He came back within a year, which is, people say that's not really normal. So he wanted to play. He had a rough start. They fired all the coaches. They did all of that shit. But then the second half of the year, he played decent. And all we need is somebody to play decent. That's it. Because, I mean, shit, who do we have?
To
Russell
beat
Wilson?
Baltimore, all you need is someone to play decent. I don't know. Baltimore's pretty good.
We beat Baltimore this year.
Yeah.
We beat them.
I would think that you're still kind of behind Baltimore.
We behind it. Well, we behind. Look at the Bengals. Shit. What are you gonna do? You got Joe Burrow. I mean, yeah. So long as we are ahead of the Browns at the end of the year and we beat them twice, then I'm happy because there ain't shit happening this year for the Steelers this coming year. There's no way. I was talking to my best friend. He's a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. I said I'm jumping ship. I was like, I'm gonna buy a Jacksonville Jaguars cap now. Next year, I'm gonna take a break from the Steelers because just it's like, what direction are they going? Like, yeah, okay, they have all this. They have homeboy. What's his name? They have George Pickens. What a receiver! But if you ain't got nobody throwing to him, what's he gonna catch? Nothing. Yeah, he's gonna have some highlight plays like once in the blue moon, you know. But he's not gonna like, it takes two to tango.
He's not going to get the chance to catch the ball unless the offensive line improves.
Well, that too. But we had last year we drafted an offensive lineman. I think he got he was really good, and then I think he got injured, out for the whole year. And I think we drafted another guy this year who's really good. So yeah, they're doing stuff on that regard, right? Somebody gets injured, there's nothing you can do. That's just life. But I don't know, man. I really don't.
Yeah, I would say don't waste your time and money with Aaron Rodgers. You need to build. You need to build for something, so it's good over multiple years.
Well, we need to lose. Like the whole bullshit about having a non-losing season, right? I have to look up on Facebook in the I think I'm like part of two or three groups.
A better draft pick, right? That's just going to get you a better draft pick.
Exactly. Because next year there's going to be a lot of good quarterbacks available. So just tank. Tank for 1 year.
I think getting Joe Flacco for maybe it's near the minimum. I don't know why they would have signed him for anything other than near the minimum. Would be much better than Aaron Rodgers for $10 million. And that's a discount for Aaron Rodgers. Like the top quarterbacks make $40 million. So Aaron Rodgers for 10 would be considered a discount, but I think Joe Flacco for the minimum would be better than Aaron Rodgers. It's just kind of like a personal opinion.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is getting old. He's getting old. Actually, Joe Flacco's pretty old. I remember 20 years ago knowing about Joe Flacco. He went to the University of Delaware.
Joe Flacco is like, was it last year or 2 years ago where they called him up and he was sitting at home on the couch?
Yeah,
and he just showed up.
I remember that. Yeah, I don't
flinging the rock.
Think it was this past year. I do think it was like the year before.
Man, he was flinging that rock, man. Jesus.
Yes, he was actually considered for like the comeback player of the year. I do remember that.
But he, the thing is, he came into it. He had nothing to lose. He's like, oh, let me just go play.
Right, and
because all the rest of these people got so much pressure to perform.
Yeah, like Flacco, Aaron Rodgers doesn't really have the ability to move either. So they're pretty much immobile quarterbacks.
And I think that's. And to be fair, then I don't know why they got rid of Justin Fields. Why didn't they just give the kid a chance?
Yeah, Justin Fields.
He played good. He played good.
Yes. I remember him. He was drafted.
He deserved some money.
Yeah.
It's better than what we got now. Shit. I don't know.
I remember Justin Fields back in Ohio State. He was like, I think he was like a top 2 draft pick because of how well he did there. But
isn't it former number 1? He got drafted by the Bears.
He might have been. Yeah. He's either drafted 1 or 2. I do remember him being that highly regarded. Yeah, I thought whoever signed Justin Fields, just because he's probably going to come for right around the league minimum, just did really well.
I think where did he go?
Hold on, I can look it up. Justin Fields.
Because he's going to start, I think.
Oh, Jets. Okay.
Yeah, the Jets. He's going to start.
He was a Steelers last year, and the Bears in 2023. But I don't think it was Justin Fields' fault that the Bears were just so bad. Yeah, it looks you look a lot worse if your offensive line can only hold for like 2 seconds instead of 3 to 4. That's a huge difference.
Well, what I was going to say is, like, why don't you keep Justin Fields? At least he's a mobile quarterback. At least he can still run.
Mm-hmm.
And like the pure pocket passer, like, you know how Dan Marino, you take 3 steps back and let it go. That's over. I mean, you still do that sort of stuff, but if you don't have option B, in this league, because everything's gotten so much faster.
Wow, I just read this. So they did not sign him for the minimum. The Jets actually spent $20 million a year for 2 years. They gave him $20 million a year. Yeah, so the Jets obviously have a much higher rating of Justin Fields than they do of Aaron Rodgers, because they could have signed Aaron Rodgers for that. And Justin Fields does give you the capability of running.
Well, creating something if the play breaks down.
Yes, and that's what remember back in years past. I think it started kind of with Randall Cunningham did it. Steve McNair did it. They were able to really scramble out of danger.
I won't tell you who the first quarterback was.
Michael Vick.
Start running. No, before that.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're going pre Randall Cunningham, yeah.
Well, no, it's about Randall Cunningham, but Cordell Stewart.
Oh, from Steelers, yeah. Cordell Stewart.
He was one of the first to where they would design plays like a run option.
Mm-hmm.
And like for Cunningham and stuff, they want him to throw. They didn't want him to run. Wasn't Buddy Ryan the coach? Of the Eagles?
Yeah, Buddy Ryan became the coach, I believe, in 1986 or 87. It was right after the Bears Super Bowl season. He was the defensive.
That was 85.
85. So I guess he became the Eagles head coach at 86. Yeah, he went there, and he created a vendetta. He didn't create a vendetta against Chicago, the team he created a vendetta against the Dallas Cowboys, which the Philadelphia Eagles fans love. So they love the fact that someone would be very, very anti-Cowboys.
Well, I thought it was what is the rivalry? Isn't it the Bears and the Packers? That's a big rivalry.
There's 3 big rivalries. There's the Bears and Packers. I think the Ravens and Steelers is a big rivalry, and the Eagles and Cowboys, big rivalry.
Yep.
Those are the 3 biggest that I'm aware of.
Well, the Cowboys ain't going nowhere, so don't worry about that.
With Jerry Jones leading the front, I would agree with that.
Well, look.
I like Jerry Jones. I do like him, but he's too.
I like him too.
Too involved.
But regardless if he does or doesn't, he has the most valuable franchise in the league. He makes more than enough money. It's just he's not, he's got his fans crying every year.
Mm-hmm.
What's the meme? I got like 2 or 3 friends who are Cowboys fans. I always send out the same meme every year. It's like the Cowboys helmet
mm-hmm.
and the star. The star's not only a logo; it's also the rating. So 1 star.
Yeah, 1 star. Yeah, I gotta say, just personally being influenced by Philadelphia sports, I would say the team I would hate the most is also the Dallas Cowboys because they're so smug. They're so smug when they win. Oh, it's awful.
America's team.
It used to be. I remember in the '70s, it used to be America's
I
team.
still call it America's team. Now I don't really have a hatred to any, or like.
It should be Baltimore if you're a Steelers fan.
Well, look. The thing is, but they don't. They can't play like that anymore. They can't like knock each other's heads off anymore. You get flagged every time. You know,
Mhm.
like if you look how they used to play like 10 years ago, and rightfully so. Okay, you got CTE, you got all this stuff, but I just think it might. Okay, yeah, all right. They want people to score. It's more exciting. But look, like 20 years ago, the scores like scoring like 28 points was like, holy crap, what happened? Like, it'd be like
Yeah,
12 to
yeah,
14,
yeah.
7 to 10, 9 to 6. Like,
Yep.
you know, and if anybody scored above like 20 points, you're like, oh shit, what? Oh, I gotta watch that. Like, I gotta watch the highlights of that. What the hell happened?
Yeah,
And
it was
now it's the
definitely.
norm.
That's
I mean,
right.
I was telling my friend, I was like, look, the Steelers aren't that bad. It's just they're not scoring. If you don't score above 25 points a game, you don't really have a chance to win, like a real chance to win, in my opinion. You got to score at least 21 points. That's a given. If you can't do that, forget it. Like if you look at like the average scoring per game,
Hmm.
no, because I mean, look, it's all towards the offense and less towards the defense. You can't do this, you can't do that. You got to, whatever. Um, you can only touch a receiver 5 yards, and that's it.
Yeah, well,
You know what I mean?
they've made a lot of rule changes in the past, let's say 20 years, because every year they've made some rule changes. So over 20 years, all those rule changes will have accumulated. And you're absolutely
Yeah,
right. You're absolutely
it's to
right that
make
the scoring has
to make.
gone up, and it's an intentional side effect.
Look, I don't
They want
see. I don't see that as a negative. It's just if the teams can't produce, or the organizations can't produce a team that can score, or you don't have like, a squad that can score on a consistent basis, then forget it. Look what happened in the Super Bowl. You all scored 40 points by halftime. Okay, if Casey would have kept up and would have been like 35 to 40 at halftime or something, I mean, it would have been a wild game, right? But there you go. You got to score. Otherwise, it's over. It's done. It's finished. If you can't answer, if you get anyway, let me not get into that. And another thing and I'm really thankful that Saquon Barkley has done so well, and that they've given him so much praise, and that they've uh, shown. Oh, you still there? What happened?
I'm back. I think we lost Chris. Damn it. It's my computer. My computer crashes like every hour. It's so annoying. It's like a love-hate relationship with my computer. Anytime I try to do anything with sound or 3D, it just crashes within an hour. I tried last year. I did get another computer to replace it, liquid cooled, but it was so stupid because the liquid cooled had fans going that I couldn't control, and the fans were so loud. So stupid. Let's see if I'm back on. Am I back on? Can anyone still hear me? Yeah, this whole music quiz night has gone to pot. Hey, Johnny Blaze. That's good. Yeah, I just I was explaining. Hey, welcome back, Chris.
Thanks.
I was explaining something. I'm like, oh, I'm making a good point, and I'm like, wait, why is my mouse not moving? I crashed again. Second time tonight. I usually crash 2 times.
You sure it wasn't
Because
like
my
an
stupid-
electromagnetic pulse from the
No, it's
storm?
my computer. There's a class action lawsuit against the manufacturer of this particular model of the computer.
Okay.
I do like the computer, except for the fact that I crash. It's the quietest computer I've ever had, but it just crashes whenever I do either like 3D stuff or anything that uses like the sound. Unfortunately. Damn, I was actually making a good point, and I just don't remember. I don't remember the point where I actually crashed.
I was saying something too.
I do remember trying to making a good point, but I just don't remember. I wouldn't know what point I got cut off. I think it was after Justin Fields. It was after Aaron Rodgers, who should absolutely retire. I don't think Aaron Rodgers, his heart is in the game anymore. I think he's got too much else going on. He doesn't need to make the money. He doesn't really care.
Well,
I was
even though
surprised.
he's hot.
Hey, go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say I do remember saying that Justin Fields is not making the league minimum. He signed was it 20 million a year for 2 years. That's really, really high for someone that hasn't done anything.
I think if we had to pick him up, the Steelers, I think they said they would have had to pay him like 25 a year. I think that's why we let him go.
Yeah, that's
I
hard.
don't know why.
That's 25 million. That's a big commitment.
Yeah, but you got old men like what's his face? He used to play for Minnesota and Atlanta. Another old guy.
Oh yeah, Matt Ryan.
No, not Matt Ryan, man. The other dude.
The other guy. The other guy that does not perform on Monday Night Football. Oh, what's his name? Damn it! I know his name.
He can fling the rock, but he got like what did he get, man? Like 30-something, whatever.
Yeah.
You know who we could pick? You know who we could pick up? That would be hilarious if we got Daniel Jones or something.
Oh God, no! Stay away from
Danny Dimes.
Danny
Dimes.
I've seen enough of Daniel Jones with the Giants to know that he's probably he could run, but I wouldn't trust his passing.
He can run. He trips over his own self. He had like a free touchdown, and
I remember that was the Eagles game, I think, if I remember right. He tripped on like the 10-yard line.
Yeah, I mean we joke, right? But if it was us out there, we couldn't do it. So
I could do it.
But they get paid 30. They can get paid $30 million. So
I only run half as fast as Daniel Jones does, so I could do it without tripping.
Problem is the linebackers run faster. That's the problem.
Oh, definitely. I could run the 40-yard dash in 8.5 seconds. So I have no doubt I won't trip.
Big man with ball. Yeah, I love when like linemen pick up the ball. That's fun. Big man with ball.
Yeah.
Watch out.
One of my two favorite plays in the 90s was Leon Lett picking up the ball, trying to run it back, and then fumbling it. Not only did it happen once, I think it happened twice.
Did you ever see the play? You got to look it up on YouTube. When Larry Allen, okay, this is like where the Cowboys were winning Super Bowls.
Yeah, I remember
like 30 years ago.
Great
Larry Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he ran down like some linebacker who picked up a fumble to save a touchdown.
No,
I
don't remember seeing that. Yeah.
Look it up on YouTube. You can, I don't know if it's copyrighted. Probably.
Larry Allen was one of the best offensive.
Larry Allen tackle
that I could ever remember seeing. Yeah, Larry Allen was awesome, and of course he was with the Cowboys, so I hated him. But I did respect him for how good he was.
Very good lineman.
Yeah.
It's a mountain of a man.
He was the mountain before Game of Thrones came out with the mountain.
Some of those guys. I mean, look, I went to college in Tennessee, and they had a football team, of course, as you do in America. And then when you go out on the weekends and stuff, like on campus or around campus, sometimes the football players would be around. We had one linebacker. He was like, I don't know if he was a prospect or not, but he was pretty good. That dude, like, and I'm not small, right? I'm like 6'3", right?
Yeah.
Holy crap. I saw him, I'm like, I gotta stay out of that guy's way. Holy shit. He looked like he didn't have pads on, but he had pads on. You understand what I mean? Like, oh, God. And he, and then you start thinking about, like, okay, you got this little ass quarterback, and these are the guys rushing him. Like, oh God. That's why all the quarterbacks got all that padding on their backs, on their stomachs, everywhere, just to absorb some of the force if they do happen to get sacked or tackled and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still a rough sport.
Yep.
Even
I totally agree with what they're doing about like the hits and all that stuff. It's the thing where they like when it is illegal. Like this. Sorry, I'm stuttering, but when it is a legal hit, let it be a legal hit, because I think even though it's a very fast game, people are already thinking about maybe not getting penalized or trying to tackle in the right way or stuff like that. When you look at like this rugby, right? They have no pads, and okay, they get hurt too, but what? It's like I guess it's a different speed or a different type of collision or whatever. But it just seems to me like and then like the favoritism.
Yeah.
The favoritism, like back when Brady was playing, if anybody breathed on him, it'll be a flag. You just run by him too fast, they throw the flag. Same as what they do with Mahomes to a certain extent. They didn't do it in the Super Bowl, but like it seems like certain quarterbacks are protected better than others. I mean, if you look at what Joe Burrow had to go through, like this past 2 years or whatever, he was getting slaughtered out there sometimes. Like, yeah, if that was Mahomes, if that was Brady, they'd already thrown the flag. But for him, they don't throw the flag, in my opinion. Even though he's in our division, and if we get a sack and stuff, it's great. But when you're like, oh, that deserves a flag. What? No flag? Really? Wow. Okay. But you breathe on another quarterback. It's like, 15 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, some of it has to do with who the refs are that week. Some call more ticky-tack calls than others. The other thing is, sometimes they just get it wrong, and they don't actually ever reverse the result of a game, but they will investigate.
Well, yeah, you got to get better. You got to see what the mistakes were and why the mistakes came, and what you got to. But again, we're going back to how we sort of started the conversation.
And it is getting
You
better.
make-
It is getting better because now they have, remember the automatic recalls from, you don't have to actually throw a flag, if it's in
Yeah,
a certain
for
amount of
review,
time.
yeah. Yep.
So they are trying, but I would say it's a slow process. But there is a
But
lot
I
of things
think
that can be done.
this year,
Yeah.
and you're totally right about that. This year, in certain games where they flew through a flag, I don't know if it was in a certain time or not, but before they could call what it was, they picked up the flag because New York was in the guy's ear. Look, we watched the replay. No, it wasn't that. Play on or whatever. I think that's helped the game in terms of also the pacing of the game, even though it still takes however long it takes to play the 60 minutes. But it has improved, like the whole replay thing, like that. There's refs at the NFL headquarters in New York
Mm-hmm.
watching the replays for the refs on the ground, and then definitely when it's 100%, like a touchdown or what, it's a touchdown. No need to look. That's what it is. Like when it's definite, and I think that's a big improvement as well. But like we said at the beginning, just pay the refs, man. You're making billions of dollars. It's such a big industry. You know, the people who are judging the game and are impartial, wouldn't you want them to be paid properly?
Yeah.
That there's no risk of outside influence. Not to say that there could be or wouldn't be or whatever, or that they can concentrate on doing the best job that they can. You know, but hey, and there's, I mean, there's certain calls for every team. I'm sure you could list like a couple calls where, yeah, if that wouldn't have happened, then we would have won the division or we would have made the playoffs instead of not made the playoffs because we would have beaten that team or whatever. But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, even for the Steelers, there was the one time where we had a touchdown and it was the tight end Jesse James. It's like a Monday night game, and it was a touchdown, and it was not called a touchdown. And the Patriots beat us, and then that sort of like broke our momentum to a certain extent and confidence, in my opinion, which it shouldn't, but I think it really did because it was like really hard fought, and then at the end, and then you get the final, you get like you're 1 yard short. What was it? What was the Super Bowl where the Tennessee Titans were 1 yard short?
Oh, I remember that against the Rams. I remember that. It was like
Yep.
2000,
Yeah.
2001.
So
Yeah.
I mean, okay, he was definitely short, right? But
Yeah.
in this instance, I think it was a touchdown, but for the Steelers, but whatever. I actually wear my Steelers cap right now. Should
Okay.
throw it away and burn it.
No, don't throw it. Don't throw it away. Don't burn it. Yeah, it's something when you get a team that you really like and you just stick with them.
Oh, here's what? Yeah, okay, but next year I'm gonna be a Jaguars fan, honorary.
Ah,
I'm gonna be accepted.
after Doug Peterson gets fired. I actually
Look,
like Peterson.
I also told my friend, like, when they hired him, I was like, damn, y'all gonna be doing some really cool plays and y'all gonna start having fun and it's gonna come together and he's really gonna get y'all to play as a team. And I mean, look what he did with Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, and
this goes
I
back.
was.
I'm gonna say this goes back to it's not about the quarterback because I think their quarterback Lawrence, he's a great quarterback. I would say if he had a line and time and players to throw to, he could be a great quarterback. But it just never worked out that way.
Well,
Trevor
he was
Lawrence-
also injured for a while.
Yes,
To be fair,
but I think Trevor Lawrence's skills, and kind of what he proved. I don't want to go too much in college, but what he proved he can do is impressive, and I just think it's the lack of having players around him that contributed to him being. Now, Trevor Lawrence is probably considered an average quarterback. He's been in the league for 4 years or so. Probably considered average quarterback, but he never actually had the players around him.
yeah.
He was considered at one point like not only the top pick. If you look at all the picks in the 5 years around him, he's probably considered the top pick of all the top picks.
Yeah, the golden boy.
Yeah. Oh, let me show you. Hold on, I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna show you the easiest bet of the year. Let's see. Present, share screen. We're gonna see the end of this game. The end of the Philadelphia Phillies winning when their 0-5 pitcher all of a sudden was a favorite against a 5-1 pitcher with a 1 point something ERA. But the odds makers knew something. They put the Phillies as a favorite, even though their 0-5 pitcher with a 5+ ERA was going against one of the top pitchers in the league. This was just a gimme. This was a gimme game.
So how much did you make on your bet?
50 cents.
You made 50 cents.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care about the money. I much more enjoy just being right. When you see something that's just so out of whack with the odds makers, like you just say, oh yeah, you're like, why would a team with pretty much the same record be favored when their pitcher is 0-5 versus a 5-1? That's just a gimme. All right.
Throw it back.
Yes. They always do that there. They do throw it back. I have to take a dog out one last time. It is 9 but I don't necessarily have to go. If you have to go, that's okay. I will come back.
I was gonna watch boxing.
Okay.
Canelo Alvarez is fighting today at some point. So
no problem. Thank you for coming on. Always a enjoyment to talk, especially football with you.
Yeah, I don't know much.
Oh, I think you know more than 99% of the people out there. So,
all right, man. Take care.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Cheers.
And for everyone else on the chat, I will be back. I'll be back. I have to go collect money, $19 for a lap dance. I have to take the dog out. I'll be back. Outside? I got $19 for a lap day.
cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got $19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got 19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got 19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now. Get it now. I got 19 for a lap dance. But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Look here, I got 19 for a lap dance.
Okay.
But I only got $1 for a cigarette. Get it now.
I am back. I'm not sure how long I'll be back for because it looks like we are. Let's see how the game I bet on went. Dun, dun. Ah, damn it! It's not here. I'm pretty sure the Philly won. Hey, Sean Sheep. Oh, we got Sean the Pro and Sean the Sheep on. Hold on, I got a special thing for you guys. I know that song is special to both of your hearts, even though there's still debate at who created it. But yeah, what is it now? It's like 9 o'clock. I'll stay on if anyone wants to come on too. Yeah, come on if you want. I think I have the thing. I think I have it bookmarked.
Hey, how's
Hello,
it going?
welcome.
Hello, welcome. Yeah, thank you. I didn't know. I was surprised you were live, and I clicked on it. I was like, you're usually in bed by this time.
Yeah,
And,
well, my wife's not home. She went to a baby shower
Oh,
out
okay.
in the great state of West Virginia. Our number one state.
Oh
Our number
no,
one state that marries
Their cousins?
cousins that
Yeah.
are related to each other.
Yeah, I was- okay, so we don't necessarily know how the baby will turn out. Then we don't. Or
Yes, you're right. You're right. We don't know the number of chromosomes at this point.
yeah. But what kind of gift would you suggest would be good for a baby shower like that? I'd say a bottle of whiskey.
Ooh, what would be a good
Maybe.
gift? So with all the tariffs about to hit,
Right? Yeah.
I would
Well, I've been
say,
talking about tariffs all weekend.
yeah, I would say something that we commonly get from China that is not
It's not off of Temu, is it?
easily reproducible. I don't know what that would be, but that would be my first guess because I think the tariffs just hit starting today. And it's funny because I
Yeah.
spent the last
Well,
month.
for car parts only, I think.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I did hear for car parts, and like the China stuff's hitting. It's gonna hit at some point because I've ordered 10 different orders from Temu over the last month in a scramble to just get all the stuff I need.
Yeah, someone was telling me earlier today. I don't order off of. I don't have Temu, but they were saying that they're canceling Temu because of the tariffs, apparently, or
Wait,
like this.
Who's canceling?
Well, like apparently because of the tariffs, I guess Temu is saying that they can't deliver anymore or something like that. I don't know
Oh,
the detail.
I did not hear anything. I ordered something yesterday, and everything's still going according to the plan. But so I don't know about that you can't order on Temu because yesterday it worked fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But,
someone told me that
Hmm.
they said, "Oh, I'm glad that Temu's gone" or something along those lines, and I was like, "Okay." I didn't hear anything about that, but I would guess that maybe that could happen.
Yeah, there's actually different rules. Like there's a rule if the thing hits like $800 or less, it was exempt, and then there was like a update to that. I don't know. I actually don't know the rules, but I do know that up to yesterday, and yesterday was the last time I ordered.
I got a phone call coming in. I'm gonna pop back
Yeah.
on though in like a minute. Sorry,
All right.
I gotta take this.
All good. This is a phone call from the Maury Povich or Jerry Springer show saying, "You are the father." He's probably getting the phone call from them saying, "You want to come to our studio?" And I hope the phone call doesn't last too long. Hold on, let me put this back on. There we go. I knew putting that song back on would attract. Sean the
No,
Sheep,
sorry, my
worm on a bait.
My brother called me. He keeps asking me about dinner. Kept telling him I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Is this in Japan or are you back in the United States or
No,
Canada?
I'm back. I'm back in the U.S.
All right.
Yeah. No, if Japan, the time right now would be around 11 a.m. I think, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I can't do StreamYards anymore in the morning time. It's tough. Maybe once a year.
Okay.
Yeah. Evenings is the best. The best time zone, I think, for StreamYards is the Eastern time zone in the US. Because you can get a little bit of England, you can get a little bit of Australians if they're on in the afternoon. You can get Thailand and Asia in the
Yeah, so there's actually a best time. Not even where you're from, but broadcasting at a certain time is the best time.
Yeah, I would say probably around midnight UK time. That's my guess.
Well, that's when I come on. Right?
That seems
Well,
to be prime
The problem
time.
is I tried to get 4 people on to do a music quiz today, and I couldn't even get 4 people on.
Sorry, I missed that. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. I'm not really good. I'm only good with like 90s and onwards. I remember you did do a quiz once on Steph.
Mm-hmm.
Steph's where you had it really mixed up different decades. Like you had like Beastie Boys, you had 80s, you had 70s. So that was good. So I was able to contribute. It was the one where you would put one word in,
Yeah.
and then if no one got it, then you.
That. No,
Okay.
I did a lot of research to actually get different quizzes of being able to put what exactly what you're saying. Like you start from one word, you go to 3 words, you go to 5 words, and then someone.
And then if you get the artist, someone can get the title of the song or something like that. Yeah, it depends on the points.
I do have a few of them left that I was trying to do tonight. I was trying to do one of them. It was all 80s, but not enough people came on.
Right. Yeah. I could probably do 80s if they're popular, but competing with the regular crowd, I don't know. Yeah, if I could, I'd be happy with 1 point.
The regular crowd's like 3 people. So I think anyone has a chance at this point.
Yeah. A lot of people have been asking me from here and there. Have you heard from Steph? I said yes. He was on Ty Z's streams. Yeah.
The nice part was he did check in. The worrying part is he checked in and haven't heard from him since.
I think he's okay. I mean, I told Ron last weekend. I said, "Hey, Ron, did you see Steph? He was on Ty Z's." And then Ron looked at it and he goes, "Oh, he doesn't look good." I go, "Wait, he seems better to me, in my opinion." But I guess.
Yeah. So physically,
I don't know.
I would say physically he doesn't look great, but mentally, if you compare it to the last couple of times he went on, mentally he actually looks. He does look.
I thought it was a positive to be in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's just yeah.
I agree. I agree with that. He mentally kind of looks better.
Yeah. I
But we
would
don't
agree
know.
with you.
We don't know. We don't know. All I've been doing is ordering stuff on Temu.
I thought you were gonna say ordering pizzas.
Oh, yes. I
Oh,
do
you
love-
don't have the wife. Are you doing pizza, or are you don't have to go into
No,
detail?
I'll tell you what I'm doing. You're gonna laugh. Yes, you're gonna laugh.
It's not
I
something like
actually
Cheetos.
I have my next meal. I have my next meal already planned. Yes.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
love this stuff. We got a
Uh,
case. We got a case of this. It was over 6 months ago because I remember it was way before my Thailand trip. I was like, if we get a case of this, it's on sale for like half price. We can get a case of this, and during the meals, we'll just serve this stuff. Serve this stuff as like a side dish.
right.
And but the funny part is, we never did it.
Yeah. I'll tell you, if the apocalypse ever happens and you have a box full of Twinkies and the Chef Boyardee, you're good to go.
Yeah, I know what you mean by Twinkies because there was a special story of how long will Twinkies last.
Yeah.
Like, there's a thing that they could actually last.
Apparently, yeah.
I don't know if they'll last 20. They will absolutely last 10 years.
There's got to be some truth to that, though, because if you think about it, like I haven't had a Twinkie in years, but if you think about it, it really is sort of like it's all chemicals, right? It's all, there's no actual like cake, I think, involved in it. Like it's something that just sits out on the shelf for forever. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be some truth to that.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Twinkie will
right.
last like 10, 15 years or something like that.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I think Campbell's soup. I know they're not great, but that's probably really like my number one like bad food that I have sort of just stocked up, kind of just sitting on the side. Like is it emergency food, kind of like if I'm like really hungry. And it's like I'll have like a can of
I
like
do know that soup. It's like it's either manufactured in Camden or Trenton, New Jersey. It's one of those two. I'm not sure which one it is. But
I think there's 2 plants, or I don't know, I could be wrong. Yeah, but it depends on the back of them, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, or whenever I'm at Costco, I like to get it's called Healthy Choice, but it's owned by Campbell's.
okay.
And it's better because there's less sodium in it. There's more vegetables, but it's pretty much the same stuff. But it's called Healthy Choice.
Yeah, I do like Costco.
Oh,
We
Costco's
go
amazing.
there. We go there like every week, except this weekend. This is the
Did
first
you
weekend
know-
we didn't go there in a while.
Kind of a fun fact. Did you know that so with your Costco membership, if you go to, let's say, Japan, for example, you
Yes,
can
I
use
do
your
know where you're
membership to enter
Yeah.
Costco in Japan?
Yes, you could use your membership card at any plant.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
in
I
my
agree.
opinion.
I've seen it. I've actually seen it on I don't think it was TikTok, something like TikTok, where someone said, "Oh yeah, you could use your Costco membership at anywhere," and they were doing it in Mexico. But yes, you're absolutely right. If you have
Yeah.
a Costco plan, and you know what I'm going to use Costco for very soon? To buy gold, because you can
Ooh, that's
actually buy
good.
gold from them.
They're all sold out. That's what I read last week or something. You know what? Well, you know what's actually interesting, because I follow the stock of Kirkland and Costco as well,
Mhm.
and they've been making a ton of money by selling gold. They're pretty much selling it at spot, and
They don't
what's-
charge a lot overhead. Yeah.
yeah, and apparently I didn't know this. What's been happening is people who have a higher tier membership, they've been buying a bunch of gold and they're getting points for it that turns into Costco cash, and they
Yeah.
started cashing in their
Mhm.
points. So it's basically like buying money to get
Yeah.
more money to a certain
Right.
degree. Like if you add the points in there, you're actually getting a discount on,
Yeah,
on the
and
spot
not
price
only
of
that,
gold.
I'm going to give you a hint here too. Not only do you get the discount because of that, you actually get when you pay for the credit card, you could
Yep.
use the credit card if you spend a certain amount, you get points for it. You can
Yeah,
get
the
points for it.
cash back, or
You could
my
easily
parents have
get
that, I think.
5%, 5% total, which is very, very good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
totally worth it.
So apparently, yeah. So because I was looking, I was like, why is their stock price going down? And apparently, people were a little bit worried because a lot of people have started cashing in on that.
Now,
But
well, now
it's like a fear.
they have a restriction. You can only buy 2 in a 30-day period.
Ah, okay.
But I think
Okay.
it has to do. I think it has to do with the fact that gold went from 3,000 to 3,500 per
Yeah,
ounce. So
yeah,
when it goes up that high, you get people that bought, they just cash out immediately.
yeah.
So
Well,
it's not even like an investment.
the interesting thing is, yeah, when the gold price every few years like takes a goes up a decent amount, it's funny how you'll have more people buying rather than selling, it seems like. Because I remember that, like, my local like gold dealership where you get like a good deal compared to other places, at least, it's always sold out, sold out, sold out. Like getting like a half ounce, like a half like eagle or something like that now, like you can't get those anymore. So like, a lot of people don't want to spend like 3K plus on a full ounce, I guess. So the smaller ounces are actually going more than the higher ounces, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Yeah.
Yep. I would say this, like, the reason I did not buy it. This is you're talking specifically the Costco gold ounce, and
Mhm.
I've seen it. I researched it, but I was able to do it because I was not able to do it. I thought I was able to do it because the credit card I was going to open said that you cannot have another credit card of this product, which I actually had. So this is going from the Chase Sapphire Reserve to the Chase Sapphire
Okay. I know the first one. I don't know the second one. Sort of. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Are you there? I think I might have cut out, or you cut out. I think you cut out because your screen is frozen. Sorry, I don't know if I can't hear you, and your screen is frozen. So, okay, gotcha. I'll look at the chat. Yeah, no one there. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting conversation. I like that stuff. I stopped buying a lot of gold and silver. Just had too much of it piling up for myself. I don't mean that in like I have a ton of it. I just wasn't really doing much for my portfolio. But it is fun sometimes to look at it and to be like a kid.
I'm
Hey.
sorry. I actually got my computer crashed yet again, which happens literally.
Oh, okay.
on my screen.
Yeah, no worries. I saw that your screen froze, so I thought, yeah, it might have been out there.
I didn't notice my screen froze probably until like 30 seconds into it, when I was moving the cursor around. Like, why is the cursor not moving? Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was I saying?
Costco, you were buying. You were gonna buy gold.
Yeah, I
Oh
was
no,
gonna
yeah,
buy
you went
gold.
from the Chase Sapphire to.
Yeah. So Chase Sapphire, there's a promotion, very good promotion, 100,000 points, which generally gets you a trip anywhere from the US to Asia and back. No questions asked.
Oh,
Free trip.
okay.
You have to spend like $5,000 in 3 months, but if you buy an ounce of gold is now going
About
for
300. Yeah,
So
3.
you can buy that. You can buy that on the credit card, and you get the benefit of the executive membership benefits too.
Right.
On that.
The lounge access
Yeah.
and all that stuff too. And
The lounge. Yeah, that's certainly with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I don't know if it's with the it's definitely with the Reserve.
you have
I don't
the
know.
higher tier one.
Yeah,
Ah.
I have the higher tier one, and it's a great thing because you get the global entry for free.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. You've got, I guess, I think I've read about that one. And you if you use an ATM abroad, you get your fees back, right? I think.
Yeah. Well, there's no
Yeah.
international transaction fees with that
Yeah.
card.
But like if you're
have
in
to-
Thailand. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how much it has to do with the credit card. You could also open up with Chase. You could open up a bank account if your account is the value is high enough. They're not gonna charge you fees anyway.
Okay, gotcha.
But
Okay.
if you use that credit card, they will not charge fees. But it applies to the Reserve and the Preferred.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
But there is a restriction where this is the fine print. If you currently own a Reserve card, you cannot qualify for the 100,000
Points.
Yeah. So I was
okay. It's only for new. Yeah, all the banks are doing that now.
It's not just for new. Like if you just don't, you just can't have. Like you could have had an account in the past. That doesn't matter.
Like yeah. Oh, okay. But you got to be like a fresh kind of new customer, right? That's what
they call it fresh meat.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No. All the banks are doing stuff like that now too.
Yeah. But with Chase, it's absolutely worth it. 100,000 points gets you a free trip, and if you're going to spend the money anyway, whether you spend it on gold or some other investment, why not?
Yeah. I've never been much of a points person, but I'm starting to slowly get into it.
Start getting things for free, you'll change your mind. You're like, wow.
Yeah. Well, because the airline points is, I've never been a big fan of. I've never been a big fan of.
So it's different. It's different from the airline points. So the airline points, you have blackout dates. With the Chase points, there is no blackout dates. You just go by what the cash value is of the trip. That's the big difference.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah. You get it like an airline credit card, you have to worry about blackout dates all the time. And
yeah, like I have like
travel.
I have a good amount of points with Korean Air and whatever alliance they're with. I forget whether it's with United or American or whatever. There's basically only 2 in the world. And where you can swap your points back and forth. And I only use those points for onward tickets. Like if I go somewhere and I don't know how long I'm going to be there for, but you got to have an onward ticket in case they ask. So I just buy an onward ticket with my points. But those points are kind of useless, to be honest. I don't even get priority boarding if I'm in economy. Like
from what I know, the airline credit cards, and you can get points, and who knows what conversion rate they have. The airline tickets, airline points are the worst.
Oh, really? Like in terms of like, you know what's the worst? Expedia points. They're, well, in my opinion, they just changed. They went from I don't know how you book your hotels and stuff, whether you book the third parties or direct. They usually say direct is better, but sometimes I find that you can get better deals through a third party, and I've done a lot through Expedia, and they have the system now where you can go from the regular status to silver and gold.
Yeah.
And when you reach gold, it says you get like a discount and you get more points. And
I would say if you travel a lot, it's worth looking into. If you don't travel a lot, it's probably not worth looking into.
Basically, if you're on business and you travel a lot, that's when I would say then you're good to go, because your company is just paying for you to move around so much that it makes it worth your while when it comes time to book something privately. You have all these points. That's what my dad used to do, but
One
now
of the good things about using the Chase Sapphire Reserve to pay is you get a 50% points discount. So if you have, let's say you have 100,000 points, and we'll say 100,000 points is worth 1,000. If you book something, you actually get a 50% discount. On the site for either flights or hotels. I booked both of my trips. I booked the flight using that. The flight was it was 1,100, but it was only 70,000 points. So it wasn't 110,000 points. It was 70,000 points. The hotel was slightly less. It was like 60,000 points. It was $900, but you could pay for it with 60,000 points. So it was actually you get a 50% discount using your points on the site.
Interesting take on that. It's kind of off a little bit, but I read that United, for example, and I think it was the Star Alliance. So there's a class action apparently where when you use your points and you go through those deals, by the time and you click your seat, what seat you want, whether you want to upgrade or blah blah blah, and you're going through everything online, by the time you get to the last page where it says taxes and everything, they've actually added more money.
Yes.
They've been doing this for a while into their taxes, and people don't notice it at that point. No one notices it.
On the Chase, I'll say this, on the Chase site, they do not do that. They give you the total amount up front. Which is
okay.
The Chase site is really good about that. You never get any additional fees.
Can I be a co-signer to your bank account? I'm just joking.
No, I'm pretty sure you can get it on your own. Hold on, let me I'm gonna log in. I'm gonna log in here to my Chase site. I'm gonna show you how much of the flight that I booked was taxes versus. Hold on, I have to go to. I don't. Hold on, I don't go to. This
no worries. I'm just gonna sip this beer.
Yeah, you sip the beer. I'm gonna create the page to show you where my trips. Oh, damn it! I hate doing this. I went through such a. Oh, here's perfect. I just darn. Hold on. I don't want to actually show the
no worries. Take your time.
But I'll tell you this. I'll read it from the page here. The total from Philadelphia to Bangkok was $1,078. Right? That was a total. But the taxes right underneath that, the taxes were $640.
On top of the 1,000,
you don't have
right?
But you don't have to pay for the taxes if you're using points. So the trip total was 1,078, but because you get a discount when you book through points through the website, the total was 71,000. I'm going to round it off to 72,000 points. Right. So 72,000 is it's equivalent to $720.
And without blackout dates, and you don't have to pay for taxes. That's
taxes.
That's pretty damn good. That's a really good deal.
Oh yeah. I totally agree. And what's the and they don't fly from Philadelphia to Doha anymore. I had to, it goes from Philadelphia to Boston, and I didn't have to pay extra for that. It goes from Philadelphia to Boston, and then Boston to.
They did your okay. Huh. So they even pay for your connection, no matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. It was good. It was very good. Like it was good enough where I said, "There's no way I'm getting a better deal."
And refuse that. Yeah. That's interesting.
And
Um,
they have deals. If you don't have the Chase card, it also depends on your credit rating, because your credit rating kind of depends. If
I
you
haven't
can
checked
get,
my credit. I was actually talking about this, yesterday with someone. My credit. So, sorry, it's a bit off again. So I didn't want to go into it with this person, but in my opinion, like, this person said that their credit rating was good. They said 750 something, and I said, yeah, I guess 750 is around average. And they said, no, it's not average. That's considered to be really good. 500 is like, and I'm like, yeah, I don't, right? Like, I'm not wrong, am I? Like,
I would say closer to
850.
750. 750 is average.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. I would say
Now
that too.
I could actually be speaking from a different point of view, because mine's over 800, but my guess is 750 is probably average.
I would say that too. 750 is like, your average. They pay their bills. They maybe miss the odd date here and there. They put a lot on their credit card.
I wouldn't even say they miss a date. It has to do with
well, I just mean like the minimum payment. Like, I always feel like you should pay your credit card off in full each month.
So
when I
here's
say
how it works. There's actually 3 credit rating bureaus, right? There's Equifax, TransUnion, and the third that I can't actually remember. So
I didn't even know there was a third one, to be honest.
I think it's I'm gonna say Equestrian, but it's not Equestrian. That's such a horse thing. That's a horse thing. So there's 3, and the 3 do not do the same. Their formulas are not calculated the same way. So that's the first thing. Yeah, that's the first thing that most people don't even know.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
How they calculate is totally different.
Oh, that's interesting. That's actually good to know. That when someone asks you to do a credit check, if you do it on your own, you should do too.
No, you can't do it on your own. Whatever, if you're applying for a credit card, that credit card company uses a company.
No, well, I just mean like sometimes getting a job, they'll ask you, or like just from like a landlord's point of view, like I ask tenants to give me a credit check. I don't do it for them. I ask them to do it. That was something my dad taught me. If that makes any sense, but
I will say this: what you said is very valuable, but it sounds like you don't understand when credit card companies do a credit check on you. You do not get to pick who does it. They work with a specific vendor.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that vendor. It was actually, it's funny when I applied for my latest credit card at Chase. I went to the office. I unfroze because I typically keep my my credit score. What's it called? Frozen. So it's not locked down. It's frozen until I unfreeze it. And I unfroze it for 2 of the 3 because I wasn't sure which one Chase uses. And then Chase says, "Oh yeah, it's coming back."
So that's interesting. So when you freeze it, that means if like that's basically fraud proof. Like no one can, if someone tries to.
Yeah, they can't use your credit to.
But does that cost? That costs money, obviously, right? Like to freeze your.
No. You go to the three bureaus: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. You create an account there. And then you freeze your thing, and you're fine. It doesn't cost anything. Some companies will offer to do it for you, and they'll charge you for it. But you can always create an account at all 3, and you will not ever have to pay anything.
That's better than credit monitoring, because credit monitor.
Yes, and you have the ability to temporarily freeze anyone looking at your account. You should absolutely do that. All Americans should do that. But you know how many Americans do that? So
0.
few.
Yeah, or-
No, I would say 0.
I never knew that. That's
You know
interesting.
that.
I paid
doesn't
for
It doesn't matter how
credit
smart you are. People just
monitoring
don't know.
before
Yeah.
because of all the fraud and stuff. When I did it when I was part of the Home Depot back in the day when they had the hacking,
Hmm.
and they were like, "Oh, well, we'll give you free credit monitoring," and I was like, "Okay." I think it was with TransUnion,
Hmm.
and it was just monthly. They would report on my credit rating, and then once that finished, they were like, "You want to continue it? It'll cost such
Yeah.
and such amount each month." I went, it should be okay because I keep an eye on a
So
lot of my.
yes, for free, you could create, and I highly recommend everyone, not just you, everyone in the chat who's
Mhm.
American. I don't know if you could do it if you're not American, but if you're American, create an account with all 3 bureaus and just lock down your stuff. Lock it down. TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. Create an account with each one. Lock it down, and when you want to apply for a credit card or credit, then
Uh-huh.
temporarily unfreeze it.
So
Unfreeze it. That's the
can
word.
companies do soft checks on you while it's frozen?
Yes, but you have to have it unfrozen. If
Okay.
it's frozen, they cannot, which is great. Great for you.
Okay.
That's what you should do.
I heard like like cell phone companies and internet companies now every like 2 years or something they do a soft check, and banks apparently too, just to make sure you're in good order or something like that. That's what I've heard, but I could just
A soft check is fine. A soft check should not affect your credit score.
yeah, but if it's frozen though, then they're gonna come back and they're gonna go, hey, what the hell? We can't do a soft check on you, or and then you get your credit lowered, or I've heard of
No,
people having their credit go from like their credit card limit go from like 50K to like
yes, I would say.
$1,000 or something like
No,
that.
I understand what you're saying, but my guess would be if a company cannot do a soft credit check on you, it would not impact. I am 99.9% sure it would not affect
Okay.
your credit score.
Okay. That's good to know.
Soft checks do not affect your credit score.
This is great advice. I'm
Yeah,
actually learning.
it's almost like I worked in the credit card industry back from 2016 to 2019.
Right. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is brilliant. I feel like I should be paying you for that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't pay me enough to stay there.
Yeah, that's amazing. I never knew that before. I'll have to check that out probably the next week or so. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you absolutely should. Absolutely should. And the offers. A lot of American credit card companies offer a lot, especially if you haven't had the any of the Chase cards in the past 4 years. Well, it's based on product actually, so it's not
Right.
you could have Chase cards, but if just the reserve or the preferred, those are the 2 credit cards that actually matter for what was 100,000 point, but you could get a free trip, one free trip just for getting that credit card.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
how good is that?
Yeah, it does sound like a steal. Definitely. Too good
I
to
sent
be
my
true.
banker. I sent my banker email asking, like, can I qualify for this? And this is before I saw that it said, "Oh, you haven't gotten a bonus in 48 months."
Yeah.
Because I just got the reserve 2 years ago, so 48 months is 4 years. I got it 2 years.
Huh.
So I
Interesting.
did get the bonus, but you may not have gotten the bonus. And the
Oh, I don't
preferred,
have that card. I don't have the high tier one.
yeah, and it's not expensive. It's $95 a year, and with the $95, you actually get a lot of benefits for it. Like
Yeah,
a
well,
lot
do you get cash back?
yeah. So you get the 100,000 point
Yeah.
bonus, and you do get a few other things with it. Yeah, I think you get travel insurance with it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else you get from it.
You get like
It's considered,
groceries or gas or something like Anything cash back? Those are the ones I usually like for the
Yeah.
most part.
That's why I have the Chase Inc. card.
Right.
Gives
Oh,
you-
okay. Yeah.
Chase Inc. gives you 5% cash
Yeah.
back on things like gas and
Grocery, gas bill,
phone.
or
No, actually not groceries, but cash and the like internet stuff.
yeah,
So
bill
phone
payments.
bills, cable
Yeah.
bills. They give you 5% back on that, and 2% on gas, which is it's not bad. If you,
It's pretty.
you know,
Yeah, it's about
everyone spends money.
average.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone spends
For
money on
cash
gas.
back.
So that part's fine.
Yeah.
So it's funny because on my credit cards, I have I list out what to use them for.
Mm-hmm. Oh, to maximize your point redemption or value.
Like
Oh, yeah.
I have one credit card labeled gas because I get more just filling it up with gas than all the other credit cards. So I write on that credit card, I say gas.
I've seen people do that. I've seen family members do that, and I'm like,
Very good thing.
it just
Very good.
goes in one ear and out the other. But I'm just like, I guess it's kind of a smart thing. But
Well, yeah, it depends. Yeah, it depends on.
I can't be bothered with shuffling around 6 or 7 different cards all the time in my wallet.
Right. That's why you have on your credit cards label what they're for.
Yeah,
Like
then you're
on the
you're
reserve.
helping the robber, or when you're helping when you're in Thailand, they're going, oh, you have one for lady drinks. I'm just joking.
Yeah, they probably do. Yeah, they probably do have that. They probably identify by the shoes you're wearing how rich you are, which
Yeah.
which is actually pretty impressive that they check your shoes for how rich you are.
Oh, I've actually done this before. So like 2 years ago when I was there, I was on Soy Cowboy, and they do actually, when you open up your wallet, sometimes I'll do it for fun. Sometimes you pay for like a drink before you go in or something like that. They will make a point right away of seeing how much money is in your wallet in cash. They'll calculate it really quickly, like less than a second in their head, and that's how much they're gonna spend time with you because they want that money out of your pocket. Like,
Damn, yeah, they're good. They're quick.
they're very quick. Yeah, and I do it for fun. I don't really go for that type of thing, but I find it kind of funny. Yeah, that I'm like, you're only after the money. You're looking at the money that's in my wallet.
I know. My wife says the same thing to me. I'm like, no, hon, I'm not only in it for the money.
Yeah, sometimes when I go visit my parents, I'll make a joke. I'll go, "Hey, Dad, where's your wallet?" He'll get pissed off. He'll go, "There's nothing in there." I'll go, "Yeah, sure." I'm taking this. He'll not turn his head in frustration.
I love that.
Go get some gas. I'm taking out a hot girl tonight too. All right. You better get married then. Or something like that. Yeah.
You remember this, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. That is the Sean.
This is the gold standard. This is the gold standard. This would be the Costco standard of.
Yeah, when you walk into Costco and you show them your Chase Sapphire Premium, then that music comes on. Yeah, as you walk in.
That would be funny if they did that.
Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. They're getting more strict now with the checking you when you go in. I don't know about where you live, but it feels like
they have changed in the last 6 months from just show them the card to now having scanners.
Yes, yeah. They're actually looking more directly at the photos too, in my opinion at least, or maybe that's just where I am, but it just feels like they're really paying attention. Whereas before you would just sort of quickly flash your card and they just let people like wallow. on through.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't notice a difference. They just typically look at my wife's boobs, and no matter what card she flashes, this is exactly what they look at. And they always say,
Distraction, yeah.
come on in.
You'll in reality, Ty Z will actually have one of them, like buy 9 get 1 free coffee, and that'll be the card that he's showing. Yeah, but they're so distracted by your wife's boobs
Yeah,
that
yeah, I agree.
they'll look the other way. Yeah.
I still get distracted by them, so that shows.
It's probably a good thing.
Well, for me, it's a great thing.
I need a set of boobs myself. Not for me,
No, right.
partner.
Because if you get your own, you would never have to leave the house.
Then I'd turn into Barry. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
So let's sorry, I don't want to keep you on too long, but the tariffs really quickly.
Tariffs.
Yeah. So your opinion. Now I've heard. So Australia just had their election today.
Yes.
Canada
Australia,
had their election
Canada?
on. Yeah.
What is the same between Australia and Canada? Oh,
The Commonwealth.
well, the same thing is the person who hates Trump the most has won the election.
I've noticed that. Like I was talking to somebody else about that. So like when it comes to like all the Western allies around the world, it's only Hungary, I guess, if you want to go that deep into like that's more NATO. I wouldn't really consider Hungary. I don't even know what the heck Hungary has to offer. They're part of the EU, but
you have to look at when was the last time Hungary had an election.
I don't even know that. Yeah, the background to that. Yeah.
It was a while ago, and Hungary has passed certain legislation which actually gives, we'll say, the home team a very, very decisive advantage in terms of things like who can buy media coverage for things.
Okay, gotcha.
Hungary has done certain things that have actually made the European Union very, very anti-Hungary.
Hungary. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, they don't use the euro. I'm pretty positive about that. The countries that see the EU being in the European Union is a very like bureaucratic thing. First of all, you've got the borders. There are some that are part of like the no borders, but they're not necessarily.
Let's not separate the issues out. You want to talk about borders, or you want to talk
about economy? Well, just like in general, like economy, I guess as a whole. Like we'll go with Hungary for example. Hungary and Poland, and what else is there? Basically the countries that are coming in, they don't want to have a Greece and UK issue. In my opinion, you've got Germany, France, and Italy that are their economies sort of hold up the EU. You might not like this. I'm actually not like a big fan of the EU union. Like I just think it's just not going to work. Like other countries propping up.
Oh, if you're thinking I'm a big fan of the EU, I'm much more a fan of NATO than the EU. But that's probably.
I'm a fan of the no border, like the Schengen, whatever how to pronounce it. Like the free travel. So like if you live in France and you want to decide that you want to retire for 6 months and go work in Germany, you can do that without having to apply for like it's very easy for you to do. I'm sure there's paperwork involved, but you can just zoom into another country and you don't have to go through background checks and so much and that type of thing because everything's integrated. Well, I could be wrong, but that's my understanding.
So the first thing I'm thinking of, and this is the first time I've heard this, is how is this so much different from a
NAFTA
travel from the U.S. going to Thailand? Like you have to go through something. You have to have a certain amount of currency in the bank to qualify for like a retirement visa. You have to be over 50 years old. How is
Well, I
that?
just mean like the different countries like all banding together. So like it's like the Asian countries. Apparently they get more. I think it's pronounced Asian. So it's like Philippines,
Mhm.
Thailand, Korea. I think is in it. China. Like they're like integrated into their own economic thing going on. It's like us with Canada and Mexico. We had NAFTA. Trump now calls it, changed the name to it. I forget what it's called. North
Well,
American.
it was called NAFTA. Then Trump negotiated another deal in 2017, which he said this is the greatest deal ever.
Yeah, and now he's
2018, and
now he's saying
that's the deal. Yeah, that's the deal.
the the deal is terrible. Yeah, like
Who was the president? Who was the president that did that?
but they're trying to. I'm hammering him down. Like apparently the car tariffs don't apply to Mexico and Canada anymore because someone told Trump on the side, "Hey, this is part of the NAFTA agreement that's been going on for years," and he obviously went, "Oh, okay." But anything that's not part of the agreement is off. He wants to tariff. So,
Yeah.
but he's making a big mistake because
Well, he's
even
making a big mistake because he thinks that tariffing Mexico and Canada is the answer. It's obviously not the answer. And it's not the answer because not only the auto imports, which Trump didn't know about, where we take parts, we bring them to Canada to do something, they come back to the US and we get tariffed, bring them back to Canada to do something else and bring them back to the US. Trump had no idea about any of
I
that.
think they're backtracking on it because I literally read today they're passing or they're trying to pass a bill that Canadians, because a lot of people don't know, Canada and the US are already very, very integrated. They have been like that for
they're
years.
absolutely integrated. Yeah.
They're basically like one. It sounds
Yes.
dumb,
Yeah,
but
that's
they're
the biggest problem. Our biggest trade partners. It's like number one, top three trade partners. 1, Canada. 2, China. 3, Mexico. They're a big
but like
partner.
it's so much more than that though. Like they're very integrated. Like when you go through customs, you pass customs on either side of the border on your own. Like for example, if you're in Canada and you're flying to the US, you clear US customs on the Canadian side of the border. Homeland Security is already on Canadian soil, and it's vice versa. That's just one example. There's a lot of other things that like you can just draw, like even with Mexico, other than immigration, everything's just integrated. All the systems, taxes and jobs, and they've actually passed so they're trying to pass a bill. So if you have some connection to the US for Canadians, they can, it used to be 182 days per year without a visa. They don't even stamp the Canadian people's passport. They can stay in the US, no questions asked. They're trying to change that now to make it 200 and some 50 days or 40 days or something like that. They're pushing it. So Canadians get a lot of perks, basically.
Citizens? This is for citizens?
Canadian citizens, yeah, being in the US.
Canadians coming into the US.
Yeah.
How many days?
Like how many days they can stay. They don't need to have their passports and like vice versa. Like American, they have a program called Nexus too. You can just drive right through the border.
Yeah,
you just scan your passport and you just
Well, it's also called global entry.
Well, yeah, I think Nexus is a little bit different just for the Canadian and the US. But yeah, global entry is very similar. Yeah. Like you don't
I do
technically like you don't even really need to have a passport to a certain degree. You just have your driver's license, you scan it.
You don't need a passport. You don't need a passport to go to Canada. But it's always helpful.
Yeah, when you want to buy more expensive goods and live in an igloo. It's very good. I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's kind of a lot of people don't realize how integrated the system is through law enforcement and well, not healthcare to a certain degree, but well, even healthcare actually. Yeah. Like you can, so for example, let's say you want to become, you're going to school, like your daughter will go to school, become a doctor, and she can choose to go to school in Canada and graduate in Canada. Her credentials will be recognized in the US where she can be a doctor. But if she goes to school in Australia, her credentials will not be recognized. There's a lot of, they could, but there's a lot of bureaucracy. There's a lot of
I agree.
rope.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So
I got
it's
$19 for a cigarette.
yeah. So I find that all kind of interesting.
Bum 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 bum.
So I'm going to be heading back to overseas probably at the earliest sometime in September, but I'm thinking about being there for a while, a little bit longer. And I remember I was lurking, I
hope.
think.
Yeah, I hope you're there in January.
Yeah, so there is a real possibility that might happen.
Boom!
So
I'm posting
yeah.
this right now. My 2 fists up.
All right, but you're
together.
buying the beer though.
I'm gonna buy the first.
You're the
not
one
only
who's advertising your Sapphire
the
card.
first,
So
the first 2 rounds. I always do that with everyone. I buy the first 2 rounds.
yeah, you're playing the game. So then when they're drunk enough, then they'll buy the next 8 rounds. No, I'm just
Yeah. Well, I just try to get them to solve a simple mathematical equation, which they regularly don't do. But yeah.
Math has always been my worst subject. So you've got the best buddy to hang
Yeah,
out with.
I hope we could do it. Even though you go to September, you're still there in January. I think there's a chance that Gogus will be there too.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not planning on, like, I haven't even looked at like airline tickets or anything like that, but I'm not planning on going there first. It'll probably be sometime later.
Well, if you want to go there for free, just look at the deals.
The
that you can get
case.
through-
Yeah.
through the Chase,
I might.
Chase, the same thing I just went through.
But I'd
It's
like
a
to, yeah,
bonus
I'd
from
like to
Chase Bank.
customize my. I'm assuming it's probably going to be like they pick the dates for you, like.
No. It's just a cash. No, it's a cash price. Like this is the
Okay.
benefit over. So if you get like the credit card stuff,
Mhm.
it's always the credit card stuff is always blackout dates. You can never go in these dates.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Chase always uses the actual price, and it could be multiple airlines, one airline, whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's
always your
interesting.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Basically, cashing out for money almost,
Yeah,
but you get a
and you
better
get-
value.
and you get the 50% discount because, well, for the reserve card, you get the 50%
Oh, okay.
discount because that's how my ticket price went from 110,000
Mhm.
points to 70. It was like 75,000. The ticket was
Right, okay,
75,000. The hotel was like 65,000.
Now, is this the hotel that had a toilet seat or didn't have a
Yes,
toilet seat?
the same hotel. I love that hotel. That was seating. That's seating. It was a great hotel. Like it's right on the main strip of everything you could ever imagine.
Yes, I don't know if I could
$30 a
handle
night.
something like that. I need my
$30 a night
toilet seat
for-
icy.
I don't know, but $30 a night for right on the main strip of Pattaya. How's that about? And you could film. You could film from the room. You could film.
Was it noisy? Could you sleep at night? I'm a light sleeper.
Well,
Kind of,
yes
sort
and
of.
no. Yes and no.
Yeah.
Like it's not that quiet. There's other places you can get that are much more quiet.
Right. Right. Okay.
So I wouldn't say it's the
Oh.
most quiet place, but it is a place I really enjoyed.
All right. I'll
And
take
it's
your
right
word.
next to the Somerset. The Somerset, you go to the Somerset, they charge like 150 a night. I got it for 30.
Wow. Huh.
Somerset right next door, 130 if you have a good deal, 150 if you don't have a good deal at night.
Yeah, they do that with people think it's like a conspiracy. I think like we get charged more for hotels compared to like Chinese people and Indians and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
all right.
I-
So yes, what you're talking about is you have to book the travel using a VPN, which you could absolutely do.
yeah, but they're getting AI is getting very smart where sometimes a VPN just doesn't work anymore. They're
well.
able to see through the VP like it's not just for hotels and stuff, it's for a lot of things. Like they're just able to see through the VPN. I find I think Nord Stream is the most popular VPN
Mhm.
currently, and it works and sometimes it doesn't work, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just yeah. I think VPNs are kind of on their way out. They're kind of a waste. You're just better off
Hmm.
biting the bullet and paying or not paying, I think. Yeah. And not tipping. I don't yeah. But anyways, yeah.
Damn, I'm so glad you came on tonight.
Yeah,
haven't
no,
talked to you
thanks.
for a
It's been
while,
fun.
and it's actually it's been a really enjoyable stream.
Yeah, no, thanks. There's a lot to talk about, but I don't want to I know it's kind of late for you, so I don't
No,
want
at this point, who am I gonna call?
to well,
Call
you could
family. I can call Ghostbusters. I don't need. I can call this guy right here.
I get the feeling if you saw him in real life, you would go and say hi.
Oh,
and say-
absolutely. No, I don't actually. I don't hate Barry at all.
I don't hate him either. I
Yeah.
don't watch him though, but yeah, but I know a lot about him.
Yeah, I know a lot about him as well. I would not. I would absolutely go up and say hi. I would tell him who I
Yeah,
am, and from his perspective, I might not be someone he likes. 'Cause I'm
yeah.
not
See,
about-
that's
I'm not
I
about-
wouldn't say hi to him. I don't know what his reaction would be, or
Yeah,
I have no interest in saying hi to him. But I'd say it's nothing mean. It's nothing. I'm not
yeah,
trying to antagonize him or anything.
Right.
Or
yeah. I'm the same way. Like I have nothing against him. But what he does is what he does. He
Hmm.
He has a business plan. I respect his business plan. I don't agree with his business plan because I don't try to implement his business plan with what I do.
Right, right. You know what my plan is right now? I gotta go to the bathroom. I don't
Yeah.
have to.
Boom. That's where we're going to leave this. You go to the bathroom. Thank you for coming on. And
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I hope
sorry.
in the
Yeah.
next month. I hope in the next month we get to go on again together.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's been fun. It's been
Yeah.
fun. I just
Thank you.
came on
Thank
a
you.
little bit late, but thank you for having me. Next time we
Okay.
gotta talk about
We'll talk about the
the
credit card you never got, where you could
and
have
what
got
type of credit card
free-
will be most
free trip.
useful in Europe with Ukraine.
Mhm.
I don't, I'm sure.
Oh, Ukraine. Yes, I could talk about Ukraine all night.
And Iran would be a good one. I've heard some interesting stuff about Iran
Yes.
and with the
We can talk about that.
negotiations going
Yeah.
on. I've heard some
You're-
really
you're-
interesting things.
you're
Why the negotiations are going on. That's a very
No.
interesting thing. Yeah.
Yes, I'm actually a hack military analyst in my spare time. So that is something I would enjoy
Yeah.
talking about.
Apparently something's gonna happen within the next 2 months, and if nothing happens, they've already got fighters. The UK's already in on it. They're gonna bomb the nuclear facilities. underground nuclear facilities.
Yeah. Well, they've
So-
already been doing that.
Yeah,
It-
and Trump's
it
not a
will-
war person, but it's interesting. If you notice, in his first term, he actually did a strike on Syria and Iran.
Who?
Trump did in his first term. Yeah, he authorized drone strike on. He did strike on Assad's Syria, and he did
we're
an-
talking Syria. Okay.
sorry,
I thought we were
well,
talking-
no, Syria and
Sorry.
Iran. I just mean like now Syria's gone, and Gaza's probably gone, and Libya's with Hezbollah's been like knocked down. They're going after Yemen, and Iran is next. There's been definitely a lot of whether you want to say lobbying or not, I don't know what the word would be, but there's been a lot of push for Trump to do airstrikes on Iran, and I think that's possibly coming, unless they get a really good deal with a Iran nuclear deal, which I think.
So, I'll tell you this: the position of the U.S. is, and you have to look kind of to how Russia deals with things versus Iran. Like Russia would never risk annihilation. The way that the U.S. views Russia is they will never risk annihilation. Putin would never risk his own country for annihilation.
Oh, I agree.
But-
yeah. Mhm.
But Iran, with the way they view religion and stuff, they very possibly could.
They have a
So
security
because-
pact.
Because Iran could view, they would say, okay, so would Iran, with their 70 million population, would they be willing to destroy Israel's 10 million population, with Iran's 70 million population? The answer in terms of Russia would be no, but in terms of Iran, the answer actually might be yes. So you have to deal with Iran totally differently. That's how Iran works.
Economic sanctions, though, and drowning out.
No,
Um,
economic
that's been going on for years with North
Yeah,
Korea, with
economic
Gaza.
No.
But it's the population. Just they get the population to eventually. That's the tool to turn on their government, to put the pressure on to get them out. That's been the whole goal from the get go. That's the strategy, rather than going in and doing a military operation, if you can call it that, or something. I don't know. I'm getting way out of it now, though. But yeah.
Okay, I have to think about this. Is this something we could talk about in a separate stream?
Yep.
in
Yeah,
a few days?
probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the answer without actually thinking about it.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Okay. Cheers. Yeah. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank you, Sean.
All the best. Yeah. Cheers.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. Oh, I have to put the Taliban on now. Last chance for someone to come on. Let's dance, the last dance. Oh, is Ron on? Oh, damn. I think Ron's on. I should go on Ron's stream. Damn it. All right. I'm going to go on Ron's stream. I'm going to log off of my stream. All right. Thank you guys for coming on. I'm gonna head off, and I'm gonna go to the bathroom, then come on Ron's stream. Thanks for coming on, and I'll see you on Ron's stream.